Gee,
Hey, Luke, what's going on?
not too much, man. How you been doing?
I've been good, keeping it as best I can. My birthday was last month, so 29 now.
There you go.
Didn't do much, just a family day, so
Yeah.
not as if it got me that much.
No, I guess we're all learning how to cope with this crazy, you know, quarantine
Yeah,
and all that.
it's a way of life, just now.
Yeah. Cool, man. All right. Well, it's all good. 29. Yeah, it's a good age, man. One step closer.
Yeah, the last of the 20s.
It's all good, man.
Yeah.
Just getting better. Just getting started, man. Come on.
Oh yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is like ideally, I want to live to 100.
Nice.
That's ideally, but none of my like great grandparents or whatever like have got anywhere near that age. So
Mm.
it's probably not going to happen, but it would be a good shout. And if you look like because of my generation, if you look after yourself, like
Oh, yeah.
it is possible to get to 100. 90s more realistic, but
I have
I'm
all kinds
yeah,
of longevity in my family, man.
really
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I'm for sure going to get to 100.
Oh, you mean your family like get or got to the 90s in the past and
Oh,
stuff? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Mine are more 80s. Mine are more 80s.
it's all good,
Yeah,
man. It's not about the time, at all, bro. I could go out tomorrow. I'm fucking ready to go, bro. I'm not.
yeah, yeah.
It's all good,
I'm
man. It's
I'm the
all
same.
good,
Yeah,
whatever. So anyway, okay, man, cool. Well, we got some cool topics for today, man. So it's kind of a little more fun, So why not, right? Make things interesting.
yeah. The last one was a bit lighter.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it looks as if this one's going to even be a bit more lighter.
That's okay, man. I think it's good.
yeah,
Maybe in another couple we'll come back to a dark one, man. But that's okay too. It takes all kinds. That's what keeps things interesting.
yeah. Got to keep it positive sometimes.
Try to. We try to, man.
Yeah,
You do what you can,
it's hard.
bro.
It's hard, but
It is, man. Sometimes, you know what I mean. But that's the thing, man. It's like sometimes you got to go in for because, man. The truth is, bro. Like as you know, man, the journey can get dark sometimes, and like there are nights when it's hard, man, and like if you go out with guys, if you have guys who are like your students and stuff, man, you have to get a little harsh with them sometimes. Like I'm sure you've been there.
yeah,
You got to get
yeah.
harsh with bros. You got to tell them what's up. Like,
The, the, the coaching is very difficult because it's one thing going out yourself, right?
yeah,
Then it's a second thing having these conversations. That's another level. But then to actually be in person with someone
yeah,
that you're at a better level at than them
yeah,
and able to course correct them
yeah,
can be very difficult because some guys aren't a match for me.
yeah,
So even though I'm telling them the things to do, that person isn't aligned with the way that I'm wanting to do things. I'll give you an example.
mm,
So you get your type of player guys that are very red pill.
mm,
Those guys I can't connect with that well
mm,
on the regular. The only guys in that category that I can connect with are more of the red pill naturals,
mm,
but they're not really what coaching. They're
mm,
just out for a good time.
mm,
So I don't know, but in terms of actually guys that have got into this and then they go, I know it's not supposed to be that, but it's just a minute or so. So the guys that get into this and they maybe come from the blue pill angle, and then they go right over to the red pill. So red pills being like very playerish, very manipulation, like all those sort of things. Like generally speaking, um, I find those guys very difficult
mm,
to tell what to do because it's against what I'm wanting them to do.
mm,
So I'll like when I'm in the club, like I've not really been out with many guys lately at all because of the whole COVID thing and stuff. But and even the guys I do go out with, it's mostly like close wings and stuff that I know. But the odd time I'll kind of
mm,
just meet up with guys in the community and stuff like you do,
mm.
and you can just tell right away like some
Oh
of the
yeah.
guys, it's just all focused on the sex, it's just all focused on the results, like
Mm,
just the way they even talk. It's like a game.
mm,
It's like an actual video game. The way
mm,
that they do it.
mm,
Um, that way can get you some results. I'm I'm not going to lie.
Mm.
They're short-lived, though.
Mm.
They are short-lived because it might get you short results, but with the wrong kind of women. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going. Yeah, I just went in a tangent there. It's just something that came into my mind, so I'm as well
there's
just to
so
say
many
it.
layers to it all, man. Like there's so many levels to it. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, man. Even back to what we were saying just from the start there about it's like especially if you're teaching a guy how things are, you for sure have to understand the deeper, I guess you could say, like darker truths. Like you absolutely have to understand those, and you have to be willing to kind of illuminate those for a guy in a way that's relatable to him and that doesn't scare him off, right? You don't want to go down some fucking stupid MGTOW fucking angry guy path because there's nothing down there. But at the same
Yeah,
time, you do still have to be willing to be like, bro, it's like this, right? It is like
yeah,
this. Don't get yourself fucking twisted. It's like this. And it doesn't, and that's again why you and we can have a laugh about it and we talk about things like in a funny way and it's fucking hilarious, but we both have an underlying sense of how things operate and how things are, and that's why we can be light about it, right? That's why
yeah,
we can be cool about it. So many of these guys, these fucking blue pill chodes that are on the inner circle, I want to come out and that's this and this and this, and all they ever did is watch videos. They don't have that underlying grounding. So
yeah,
for them, it's just like they don't even know what's going on. So if anything, they need a dose of the fucking real shit, in my opinion.
yeah. I totally agree with you because, like, what I will say is the blue pill guys are easier than the red pill guys for me. Not easier in the sense to coach. They're actually a lot tougher to
Mm.
actually coach in terms of the psychology and getting them to actually do tactics. But in terms of like, it's a lot safer to have a guy that's blue pill go to a club because you know that there's not going to be an issue with him.
Yeah.
Whereas a guy that's in the red pill, some of those guys are okay, but they're just a bit. They're, like, I mean, I know I spoke about it with the hostels and stuff, but there's quite a lot of Australian travellers, and they're on that red pill, like just kind of lager like guys that are drinking 10 beers, taking the drugs, like just like
A lot of
I
that's
mean,
it's
and I'll
not
tell you, yeah,
it's
no,
not
you go, yeah,
sustainable. A lot of that stuff's not sustainable.
no,
A lot of those guys,
they are,
I used to live in Australia, so I know the fucking footy guys, them fucking big stupid long hair, whatever they do, their mullet, fucking their
like
neon.
you live there, yeah,
Yeah, Australia. They're
what,
fucking.
Melbourne,
I've been to Melbourne, yeah. I've been to Melbourne around there. Anyway, that was quite a while ago, but I really wasn't doing this type of. I had a girlfriend when I was there, which is a whole other story.
right,
Obviously,
yeah,
it was it was an adventure. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a different story.
yeah,
But yeah, like them kind of footy guys. It's the same like saying Canada we have like a hockey fucking guy. It's the same idea.
yeah,
A lot of that stuff's not sustainable. It's like those guys hit their peak at like 20, 21 years old, 22, and then they're just driving a pickup truck, boozing, talking shit at the bar with the same idiots. And it's like it's not a sustainable long-term solution. They have a lot of traits that you should adopt. They have a lot of traits that some blue pill chode should adopt. You should adopt those
yeah, yeah,
traits, but you want to merge the best of both worlds, so you're not just some dickhead who's shooting off at the bar. He's fucking 39 years old, still telling the same stupid jokes, so he can like his whole life's going nowhere, but he's pulling the odd girl here and there. It's just not a good, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. So with blue pill and red pill, the majority, every guy that's blue pill doesn't have abundance. That's 100%. The majority of guys that are red pill don't have abundance either.
Right. Right.
Now, there is an exception with red pill. A guy that's maybe very famous or something that's red pill might get away with it, but only because of his status. But this is the big but. If he'd actually went to the purple pill, if he went to purple pill, he would have so much more abundance. He would have so much more abundance.
Well, is that you ringing? Is your phone ringing there?
Yeah, that's my house phone actually. So like, it should just ring off.
Okay.
Like, I mean.
Yeah. No worries.
There's a lot of people downstairs, so they should answer.
Yeah.
Just rang off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quick.
Yeah. So I don't know. You're right. What you were saying there about the celebrities and stuff. Like, we can get into that because that's actually a good transition. We might as well just roll into that here.
Yeah. So Russell Brand was like red pill. It used to be.
Russell Brand, man, he's an interesting character, dude. He's an interesting character. So I'm sure you've seen some of those clips of him talking to the like the fucking talk show hosts and shit like that. You've seen some of them on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just like legendary shit. But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing with that. Okay, it's like there's a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of these fucking like pickup dickheads on with their fucking YouTube. Nothing against it, whatever. People do what they want to do. Like, but there's a lot of guys who will sit there and like break down what Russell Brand's doing when he's running that. He's just sick fucking game. He's just like hysterical shit that he's running.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like, here's the thing people don't understand. It's like, I understand Russell Brand because I still follow his journey. I listen to his podcast. I watch his videos. You got to understand, man, like, you know, it's like he was like a full-blown drug addict and sex addict, and it's taken everything in him to keep his fucking shit together, keep himself together, and he has to be really, really careful about how he engages with women and how he talks to them, because he'll just spiral out of control. So that shit wasn't necessarily serving him. Do you understand that? It wasn't necessarily even serving him.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's got an addictive personality, like to the extreme level, and that all comes back to childhood, really. I mean, I've read his story and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think it was his personal autobiography. I think it was someone that wrote it. But
did you read my Bookie Book?
Yeah.
My Bookie Book?
It was just it was like a paperback book. Yeah.
It was probably him. I think he wrote it.
But yeah, it might have been him that wrote it. Yeah, but it was about his story anyway. I mean, like, I know with his dad that for his 20, I think was his 21st birthday. No, I think
took him to Amsterdam.
Like 18th birthday. Yeah. He took him to Amsterdam. Two hookers, three hookers, whatever. I don't know. Like, and that's not natural. That's not natural for a dad to do to a son.
And it's his whole, you know, and it's like, and he's a good example because it's like, it just goes to show you, and this truth comes out over and over again. It's like tons and tons of women, it won't necessarily create happiness and fulfillment in your life because they're just like a fleeting resource. It's like, of course they're responding when he's running that sick game on him and it's crazy and they like it and it's funny. But what you got to understand is like, they aren't like sticking around when it's not as fun. Like the minute that he stops like this hysterical game, they're just like, oh, okay, next. And they go somewhere else. So unless he's like really, really okay with that, it's probably not even serving him. And a lot of what he talks about now is like, he wasn't really okay with it. He wanted like more out of it. He wanted girlfriends or wives or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like most guys that go down that route are either the natural guys that's just like maybe brought up in a rough area where there's a big lad culture, like that it's all about that. Like so, maybe they had brothers, didn't have sisters, so they've just been brought up in that sort of manly, like masculine, like sort of lifestyle, and to me, it's not masculine. It's more masculine than being blue pill, for sure. But to me, there's a piece missing because you're projecting all this outer masculinity on the outer. But when you strip it all back to the inner, it's not there for most of those guys. And the reason it's not there is because those guys aren't happy deep down. I would say the majority of those guys that just want to that's just all they do. They're just out like 7 days a week. They're just like going to the clubs, and we all go through spells like that, right? But it's the way you're going to do them. I've been through spells where I've been going to clubs for 2 months straight, right? But I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn and improve my social dynamics, my skill set. I'm not going to have hundreds of girls bringing back to my hotel room or whatever. That can come along the way, but it's not the reason I'm going out. Whereas with those guys, they're very results orientated. The results, there's nothing wrong with having like results and goals in mind. That I want to chat to chatting to this. Say you said, I'm going to go to the club tonight and go chat to 20 different girls. That's a goal that's very. It's like an objective type goal. But to say I'm going to go to the club 7 nights this week and I'm going to sleep with 7 girls every night. 7 girls over the week. Yeah, that's a bit much. So, yeah, it could happen.
But yeah, I mean, but in the end, it's like
that's not.
It has to be about more than that because it's never like, I don't know. It's like, at what point are you really just being used by the women? It's like, and even Dan Bilzerian.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Bilzerian, he talked about that before. He was doing an interview, I think it was with Larry King. And Larry King was like, do you feel like you're using the women? And Dan Bilzerian's like, I think we said this before. He's like, honestly, he's like, if anything, like they're using me. And like, it's really true. It's like, not that he cares. He's like, whatever. I mean, I'm choosing to do it. But he's like, and you gotta, there really is an element of like, after a while, it seems sometimes like you're just like enabling these women to live this lifestyle, which like is kind of just like a fantasy that would never really exist, like without birth control and all this type of shit. Like, it's kind of crazy because they're just out there banging all kinds of guys from the hockey team or the fucking football team or whatever, and they really never have to like. They're on birth control, so they never have to worry about actually raising a kid. So they just bang every idiot on the fucking hockey team for 5 years, and then after that, they're just like, oh, now I'm 28. Oh, now I want a nice guy to marry me.
It's so true, though. It's so true. Like, that's actually a good point because, with porn stars and stuff, when they get to the late 20s, they start to realize, oh wait, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And I actually I know we're making fun of a lighter situation, but like sometimes it's dark though because some of these like girls they're getting into like 18, then they're going to 28, then when they get to 28, fall out with their family or the way that they're living, or smoking weed, or worse, taking crack or whatever.
Yeah.
Drinking lots.
And
then they're saying, I just want to find a guy.
Constantly. And that's what that's what happens, right? And that's the real shame of it all. Like, too, for the women, too, because it's like, here they are, like, they're led to believe, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, you can just, like, party and you can get a career and blah, blah, blah. So they spend all their, like, early to mid-20s doing that shit. And then, like you say, they turn 28 and they're just like, oh, well, here I spent the last 5 or 6 or 7 years or whatever partying, doing drugs, banging a bunch of guys from the hockey team and the fucking bartender and all this shit. Really not like productive relationships a lot of times. Usually pretty
Yeah.
toxic. Or just some player guy who's just like, as soon as it isn't fun for him, he's just like, next. And so then these girls really haven't developed any skills or anything. And the funny thing is, then they turn around and they're like, oh, well, now I want to get married. And they're like, I want a really high quality guy, to marry me now. And a lot of times, that really high quality guy, he's like, well, why would I want to do that? He's like, I don't want to do
Yeah.
that. Like, you've been partying and getting banged by all these guys for the last 6 or 7 years, and now you just all of a sudden turn around and like, I'm not doing that. And that's where she gets like, what the fuck? And that's why she then has to find some
Yeah.
blue pill bed at chode. And she's just like, oh, this guy's gonna marry me and pay for a big wedding and all kind of retarded shit. And that's the trap, man. And that's what happens to guys, man. It's fucking rough.
Yeah. Bro, it's getting worse online. Like, I mean, there's actually girls now that aren't even just like, the whole thing's just got crazy. There's guys handing money over to be these sort of online cuckolds or whatever you call
Yeah,
them. Like,
yeah, no,
I
I
don't know
know.
if I'm
It's
involved in terms, right? But
the whole thing.
basically, basically, yeah, basically what it is it's like the girl. It's like an online camera thing or something like that.
Yeah,
And these
yeah,
guys
no, I
hand money over.
know.
And girls are supposed to tell them what stupid things to like get down. And I mean, like you have to look at those guys then that like girls are manipulating those men.
Yeah, man.
That those men aren't having real life offline relationships.
That's right.
Everything's on the computer online.
That's right.
That that's not a life for me.
No,
That
no,
that
no.
that really doesn't fulfill me. Like so, see going to the club and like taking girls back and stuff. It doesn't fulfill me, but I can have fun with it, right?
Yeah,
I can
for
have a
sure,
bit of
for
fun
sure.
with it that type of time. Like,
Oh yeah, it's like
yeah,
it's
it's just fun, and yeah, it's like
but see,
it doesn't mean much to me. In the sense
it's
of,
interesting
like,
here though, right? It's like it's interesting because it's like, look again how it's like you and I can like discuss this and have a laugh and we can kind of make progress. But look how often it kind of comes up where it's this kind of like dark path that we kind of look down and we're just like, shit, like all kinds of guys, they don't really know about this type of stuff and they're just like easily led down that path, right? Like it's quite like jarring. You're just like, oh my god, like, so that girl's just gonna find some guy and just be like, oh, just marry me, and that guy doesn't have any experience, right? He's like 31 and he had an engineering job and he had like one girlfriend before, and now this girl just comes out of like 6 or 7 or 8 years of debauchery. It's like, whatever, you know what I mean? What people can do what they want to do, but it's like, man, like I want to live like just a peaceful life. Like I don't need that type of shit. Like I'm you know what I mean? Like I'm good, man. Like I rather just like, man, I'd rather have a nice conversation in the Starbucks lineup with someone, and like I'm good with that. Like I don't need the rest of it. Like,
yeah, I'm the exact same now. I don't need it, but what do I want right now? I've told you this before. So because I just turned 29, I'd always had this sort of thing that, and it's still stayed the same. So until it changes, then I'm not going to change it. That the socialising is still probably the most important for me, and that's been difficult the last 6 months because obviously I've not been able to do it. But I've ended up transitioning the socialising to other aspects. Now, the key thing here is I'm only doing them because I actually can do the socialising right now. But I really believe this, that when I probably turn 30, like I can already see the changes happening. That I'm when I'm going out and doing all this socialising, like I'm just having fun with it. Like, but it actually fulfills me just having a good time.
yeah,
Like,
for sure, yeah,
going out, enjoying the night, and yeah, right. So like I really don't have any expectations for the night. like the only expectations I have is what kind of night is it, because like, before I go out, I decide, is it a night that I'm going to go and actually go hard and really go in and get like just have fun, but go out with that methodical approach that I'm here to talk to girls and like have a good time, or is it just a night that I'm going with a couple of friends that maybe aren't into and stuff like that, that I can just sit, relax, have a couple of conversations, I can talk to girls if I want. I can sit in a corner all night if I want and just enjoy the music. So I make that decision before I go out, because then when I'm out, I know, is it a night that is full on, or is it a night that is just chilled and relaxed? But either way, whatever night it is, I have fun with both of those, because I think it all comes back to that decision making beforehand, that I know what I'm going out for. So it takes, and the thing is, like, now a lot of the girls will get in Scotland. A lot of the crowd that go out are between ages 18 to 22. I'm one of the, like, in the nightclubs especially. Pubs are a little bit different. Pubs are a bit more varied with age, but in the nightclubs especially, it's a young crowd. But I like that, because there's so many young guys that I can help when I'm out. And I mean, I'm not. I go out myself a lot, so like that's what I mean. If I'm out with guys, then I'll kind of just more stick with them and then just go around as well. Like, and they're my main focus. But if I go out myself, I can just kind of do whatever I want.
It's the thing is too with like helping guys is like it's really tough to like help a guy. You know what I mean? It's like the thing I found, you know, all the time meeting guys from the inner circle and all that kind of stuff was like honestly like you could help them. Like I could help them.
Yeah,
But the problem is
yeah,
they don't want the help. They don't want to help themselves. They want to live in a
yeah,
fantasy world. They want to just leech, and they just want you to tell them every single thing, take them by the hand every single step of the way, and then as soon as it gets a little hard, they just want to quit. And that's what I've seen just over and over and over
yeah,
again. It's just guys who won't invest. And that's why for me I'm not even doing that anymore. Like a guy has to invest. If he doesn't invest, he won't value it. He won't go through with it. I just recently, this is after a long time of not doing this and not even really going out or anything. Randomly a guy from the inner circle hit me up,
yeah,
and since it had been such a long time, I was like, well, you know what? All right, cool. It was a new guy I had never met before. And within the first couple messages he sent me, I already knew exactly where he was at. I knew every single thing he was going to say. I knew exactly what to expect. Exactly. And
Where was he at? What sort of level?
absolute,
You
total,
hear me
and
there?
complete beginner. Total,
Right.
utter,
I,
complete
I thought I was pretty
beginner.
sure you were going to say that. Yeah.
And it's just, you could just tell everything that was coming out of his mouth. Like it's just, and it didn't surprise me because I already knew this. But it's just crazy to hear the way the
Yeah.
guy talks. He knew all the videos, he knows all the words, and oh, do you have the social proof? Do you have this? Do you know about this? Want to go out? Let's go out and crush it. Let's go out and kill it. And you fucking meet with this guy, and it's like everything's wrong. By the way, he's dressed, his fucking cleanliness hasn't
Yeah.
even sorted the fuck out. His hair's all over the place. This guy, and what do you think? He never, ever in his life, ever had like even once like done an approach. Hi, what's up? It's like he was a total newbie. It was just like I had a laugh with it because I knew what to expect, but it's like that's what I see over and over and over again with these guys. It's just fucked. It's hilarious, really.
Yeah. I mean, like when I mean helping guys, I mean helping guys, not in coaching them when I'm out. I just mean leading by example. So like,
Oh, okay.
I just get talking to the guy, and because he sees me doing it, it inspires him. And in terms of what you're saying, actually going out with guys, I do that as well, but not not this year as much because of the whole COVID thing. But
Yeah.
I don't do it that often now because I'm very picky with who I'm going out with.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
the only way I'm going out with guys, like to actually properly coach, the only way I'm going out with guys to actually properly coach them is if they actually pay me. Like
Yeah, yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not like one point I was doing like payments and stuff, but I've not really been bothered about that. But I might get back into it at one point. But here's the catch as well: there's certain guys, even if they're going to hand me over like £100 to go out for a day, I'll turn down because I know that what like the skill set they're at, but not even the skill set because you can be an absolute chode, but I'll still go out with you and coach you. It's more to do with the mindset. If your mindset is so low and at a place that I couldn't take that money off you, that'd be wrong. They have to go and see a psychologist or have to go and do some sort of analysis or no. The thing is, but there's so many. Like for me, there's 3 different methods for guys that are complete chodes. There's really, if you look at it overall, there's 3 different methods really that they can go down. Now, the big thing is most don't choose any of the options. Most like there's 3 different options. Most don't choose any at all. So what ends up happening is they end up just going out and really just doing minimum stuff, like just dabbling, really, just dabbling. So what I mean by the 3 methods is you've really got 3 methods. You've got the hooker, you've got the hypnosis, and you've got what was the one I said a minute ago?
Psychiatrist.
Psychologist. Yeah, psychologist. That's the 3. So the number 1, that's the most risky. That's the most risky one because that's a shortcut.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like
now,
yeah.
For most guys, for most guys, I wouldn't recommend that.
That's not going to do
I'm
you
talking
any
about
good.
the heart.
I don't recommend that at all.
Absolute.
It's not going.
Yeah.
It's not going to do you any good.
I know. Yeah, I know you disagree. Yeah. I mean, we do agree on a lot of topics, but I know you don't agree with that. But like, I'll just explain it. Like, if a guy turns 20 and he's not been with any woman at all, it's going to take him so long to get good at this that he's probably not going to even attempt it, number 1. But even if he does attempt it, he's not going to get the right coach. He's not going to really. He's really just wasting his time until he sorts out different. Like so, the hypnosis and the psychologist are the optimal. Like that's like those 2 like are probably optimal to do.
Yeah.
Now, for some guys, but I definitely feel that the reason I think the hooker's the option for guys that are totally chodes is because it gets it out of their system and they're more relaxed with women. Now, they might just be a little bit relaxed, like 20% or something, but they might not be right in their face, they might not, they might just be a bit more chilled and they might get it. Like, so when that happens, they'll feel a bit better about themselves in the short term, but then they end up putting the effort in the long term because, but here's the big but though, like, it's risky because it can be a very addicting thing.
Oh yeah, it's like
now my recommendation is just a one-off, and that's it. I know you. Most you're doing that, you think that's not a good solution at all.
You can do it if you want. I mean, go ahead. Like, I don't care if a guy wants to do that. It doesn't matter to me. But it's not a realistic solution. It's like just for a laugh. I guess you could do it just for fun. If you're like, this is fun. All right, I'll fire it in a fucking escort. Here we go. Whatever. But it's not going to solve anything. It's like, it's just look, man.
No. Yeah.
It's just for a laugh.
I'm
like.
not,
There's no getting around it. Like that's the other thing these guys I constantly see with these total inner circle newbies. It's like it's fucking hilarious. Like, guys are constantly looking for like this like little tiny. They think it's a shortcut. Like it's fucking crazy talk. Like it's look, man, you can't escape like like evolutionary biology that's been around for fucking 200,000 years. Okay, bro? Like the human being has evolved in a certain way, and like the strong like alpha status guys who are hunting fucking antelope and leading the other tribe members, yeah, it's like the hot women are going to want to be with them, and that's how it works. Like you can't just
Yeah,
because
sure,
you
yeah.
watched a couple fucking YouTube videos, you can't circumnavigate 200,000 years of evolutionary biology. You like because some fucking engineering chode, some fucking guy who's been in an engineering fucking classroom for 5 or 6 years suddenly thinks he can do that. Like whatever. I mean, look, man, get a mentor is what I would say to any of these guys. Get a
Yeah.
mentor and get to work.
That's what
And
I did. That's what I did.
yeah, it might
Yeah.
take a couple years. Who cares, man? What the fuck? There's no rush, and you really have no other choice. Get a mentor so you can understand how it works, how women work.
Yeah.
It takes a couple years, whatever. Get a mentor, do it, and then you'll kind of understand it, and you can just enjoy your life and go about your life. And if you want to meet some women, you can. If you want to do something else, you can do something else. But to just have it as this like blind spot in your life that you just like don't understand is fucking crazy, in my opinion. And to think you're gonna figure it out on your own or just randomly stumble around or get an escort or some shit, it's fucking nuts. Like that's how I see it.
Yeah. Well, I do agree with the mentoring, right? Like, that's what I was saying to you. Those are my top three in terms of. I'm talking about guys that are total zeros to one here, like zero out of 10 and one. Like I was never that low. I was naturally about 3 out of 10. I was naturally about 3
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
10.
yeah.
So I can't connect with those guys on their journey. But what I can connect on is that I got better involved. So like those guys, it's going to be for a guy that's a 1 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10, it's going to be so much harder for him than me.
Oh yeah.
As the way it was for a guy that's 5 out of 10, it's so much harder for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the more natural you are with the levels, the easier this shit is. But that doesn't mean there's guys that are naturals, but they don't really do much about it. They're just like, you know,
Yeah,
like for
yeah.
example, the jocks and stuff. Like just college kids. Like they've had their fun, and then they just kind of either pick a girl and they just settle down.
Totally. And
those
those guys are actually like the most vulnerable in a way. And we're going to get to that here. We're going to get to that in a minute with a couple of celebrity examples of that. We're going to get to that cuz some of those guys are the most vulnerable because they've had a couple years, they were kind of cool in school, they were on the football team, they were sort of had a few girls. And once that starts to wear off, it's like they're totally susceptible to just like, oh, I guess. And they've never built like the structures. Whereas that guy who's like a 1 or a 2, bro, and he's realized I'm a fucking 1 or a 2. And he systematically invests. He gets a mentor, he gets taught for a couple years, he builds himself up, he understands things step by step in a fucking, in a natural fashion that takes time. He's good. In 4, 5, 6 years, man, he's got his shit built, he's got his shit together. He's like, all right, man, he's not gonna get fucking played. That guy's not gonna get played. That random dickhead from the hockey team who had a couple years of being in the cool fucking club at school and blah blah blah. Bro, after a couple years, man, when he gets out of university and his fucking value, there's no girls around, he's super susceptible. That's how I see it.
He's super susceptible unless he evolves as well.
Right, yeah. But see how he has less reason to evolve. That's what I'm saying, is he has less reason because he just thinks, well, I've had some success. He never really had to work for it. So he doesn't see what they're... He's that guy there. He's the guy who's like, I don't need that shit. I don't need a coach.
Entitlement. Yeah, entitlement. Yeah.
Fuck
yeah. I mean, you're right because those guys, like, they're especially very good in their field in terms of, like, they're in school, they've got that status of the team captain, the most. I mean, it's not like that in Scotland. We don't have much status at all. Status isn't that important here. Over in Canada, but especially America, status is massive. It's a massive thing. Now, it's not the most important of things, but it definitely plays about 30 or 40%. Like, and especially at the sort of school, college kind of time,
And it's
when
all
people
just
are
like,
younger and stuff.
they just look to who's popular and has status like within the little environment. Like you can just and that's why like the bartender has status within the fucking bar. And it's like within the
Yeah,
university, the couple dickheads on the hockey team, they have fucking status because they're on the fucking hockey team. Like it just depends, if you're in a band, you're the fucking up there playing a band, and you're got the status. Like the girls are always going to be drawn to that wherever the status is, and you can just
yeah, and then there.
yeah.
I was just going to say, yeah, I was just going to say there, the better your level, um, like the better that the status will help you. So,
Yeah.
because there's some guys that are like five, right? There's some guys that are like five,
Mm.
but in their niche. So like, because they're on tour playing for a band,
Yeah, yeah,
it gives them it gives them abundance that they wouldn't have with a natural normal five.
yeah.
So like, I'll use me as example. Right? So see, when I was over in America, when I went to the first and stuff, I struggled, but I
Mm.
didn't struggle as bad as over here
Mm.
because I had status because I was a Scottish guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Over on the West Coast, you don't get like so. When I step in the club, nobody bothers with me, right? Nobody bothers with me because I kind of just look like your average American. Or
You're
whatever. I
just
don't really
another
look much
fucking
different from an American.
Scottish
I don't
fucking.
want not American, but you know what I mean? Yeah. But when I actually open my voice,
Mm.
they're like, "Oh, who's this guy? He's got a weird voice. Are you Irish? You Scotland?" So it gives more opportunity.
Yeah, and here's the thing too with that. Like, actually, I got two quick points on that. Like, one, yeah, like you want to build up that internal value anyway, so that you're like the Dalai Lama. I think we talked about that, or
Yeah,
the Buddha or whatever. So it's like he doesn't care if he
yeah,
if he goes to the fucking to the band to the rock concert and the lead singer's up there fucking singing and everything. The Dalai Lama's still high status in his mind. He's still like, because he doesn't rely at all on external status. He's always like, I don't need that. He never taking the external status. So I'd say that's one point. So build that up. So when you're fucking rocking out, you always are aware in your mind. Let's not get too carried away with this, because soon later, when I go to the hockey game, it's that hockey dickhead who's going to be fucking with high status. And so you're always aware of that. But point number two
see,
to point number two to that
yeah,
point number two to that is also this: find opportunities where you can exploit any advantage that you have, any unfair advantage that you see. Get in there and hammer it. Like what you said about going to California when you were a Scottish guy. It's like all of a sudden over here, some blonde girl in fucking California, she thinks it's cool that you're Scottish. It's like, boom, hammer the fuck home on that. Yeah, girl, yeah, Scotland. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You play it the fuck up. Like, who cares, right? You want to take
what I'm saying. Yeah,
any un-
yeah,
any unfair advantage you have. You want to play that as hard as you can, but in the back of your mind, no, I still have to build
yeah,
up the core confidence. I'm taking this for what I can, but I'm still building up the confidence.
yeah. 100%. And the thing is, I was just going to add to that as well that when you start this journey, you're better doing that as quick as possible. Like, so maybe give yourself a few months to just try it in your hometown or whatever, but I would get out of your hometown as quick as possible and do all the travelling early on. And I'll tell you why, because if you get that momentum going, it'll give you that motivation for later on because you know that you can do it.
Yeah.
And I really believe this, that your obviously your hometown is the place that you know the best, right?
Mm.
So you've got that advantage in that sense. But I think overall, if I had a choice between staying in my hometown or going travelling to learn this as a complete beginner, I would go travelling.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
my town's 25,000. My town's too small.
yeah,
Now there's a couple of big cities nearby. There's Glasgow's 20 minutes on the train. Edinburgh's about an hour. So I can even travel to them.
yeah.
I don't even have to go abroad. Now is that more beneficial? It's more beneficial than being in my hometown, right? But then what's even more beneficial is to get out of Scotland, where I'm just an average
Go
guy
to
in
London.
terms of like
Yeah.
I don't look different and stuff like that. I look a bit different because I maybe look slightly different because I've got the Italian background or whatever, but I don't. I look British enough,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't like if someone was to look at me, they would think I'm somewhat British. Like so, I don't stand out here at all.
Yeah.
Right. So my skill set's got to stand me out.
Yeah.
Right, but I enjoy that because that's fun in a sense. Like I like not actually overall like not having status when I'm with because it just makes it more motivation. It gives you more motivation to actually really focus on your skill set. But what I will say is, on the other hand, status can be a major advantage that for learning this, it just gives you that extra confidence. Like when you're going out and you're struggling, they just give you more time. So rather than like, if I was going out here really struggling, I'm just getting
But you can hammer on any little hint of status. You can hammer on even if you just walk in the bar and you're just the coolest guy that walked in. You all of a sudden have a little hit of status, and you can capitalize on that, right? You walk in and a couple girls react. That's a little hit of status, so you can react right away on that, and she's going to react favorably. Because it's like you came in with status, he's cool, boom, and you get in there and make a move. It's like that's where action can happen. That's where like being explosive can create results. But also like like even strange little examples. Like I remember when I was traveling, I was bros with a British guy, and I had met these British girls in the hostel. And then later when we met up, like so I was hanging with my British bro, and I was like, we went to the beach, and the two British girls were there, and I introduced them, and the two British girls immediately knew his status based upon his fucking accent and stuff like that, and the way that he was talking, and he himself immediately knew their status. They were of like a higher class. They went to these like posh universities and some shit. They were from Surrey, I remember. And they were going to this posh university.
That's sorry near London. Sorry,
And I had no idea, right? Oh, sorry. Did you hear all that?
Yeah, I think I heard it. Oh, it was a bit of lag there. Yeah.
Okay, all good.
What was the last part?
So the girl.
So you I got up to Surrey. Yeah. So they came from Surrey. Yeah.
So they were posh and shit, and I had no idea. When I met them in the hostel, I was just talking shit, just blah blah blah, and I had no idea that they had this like high posh status, and they're into me big time. They're like, this guy's funny. He's from Canada. We like him and shit, and I had no idea. But when I brought that British bro around, they were immediately able to like put him as a low status, and also because he knew they were high status, it was like the dynamic was way different. It was funny, and I didn't expect that at all. I had no idea. So you can capitalize on shit as like a Canadian. You can get in there where maybe he would have had a lot more trouble, right?
Yeah, because Canadians are a lot more like the south of England.
Right. Okay.
Right. So like I'll give you examples. So like the north, like Scotland and the north of England, a lot of people from there don't have much confidence, right? Like naturally. I'm actually an exception to that, but even myself, it's not been full top confidence. Like natural, I have had that better belief set than the average guy here, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, like, when you start getting to the south, the people start becoming more confident, right? And then you take it up a notch further when you cross the pond and get to Canada. the
Nah.
people are even more confident.
Yeah.
And then when you go down to America, the people are even more confident.
Nah.
So it's like it's the culture really.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He was that guy was probably from the north of England. Then the way that like they were talking with the status and stuff, he might have been from like
He was.
Manchester or Leeds.
This is before. This was when I was traveling. This was a long time ago. I didn't know anything about the like class or like Cockney and shit. And he told me later a little bit about it. He's like, I'm a bit of a fucking, a bit of a yokel and some shit. If you think about it, but he was super cool, man. He's a super cool guy, man. But it was just I didn't understand these class dynamics, so that was kind of funny. But whatever.
Yeah, because for me, just to finish in that, like,
yeah,
if two girls are from Surrey, it's like, and this is because they don't know me, like, and they don't know my skill set and stuff like that. Like, and I'm from Scotland, that's a disadvantage because what do they like? Especially because I'm from the sort of Glasgow area, which is like a poor city. Like it used to be poor, and it was naturally like these like Glasgow, Liverpool. They were all dock cities that there was a lot of poverty going on, like after World War II and stuff that. Like as opposed to places like Surrey where there were like boarding schools and like private school. Like, people class, whereas a lot of the whereas we're all like, on that sort of more working class. I mean, I'm probably like slightly above working class, but it's just a label. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like they would see me as rough and ready. That's what I'm just going to. They would see me as more rough and ready, and I would see them as more posh and elegant.
Yeah.
So
I found out later, like,
now if my game, Yeah, you found out later.
I found out later. Yeah, they added me to Facebook and shit, and then I seen some of their pictures. They're all, like you say, private universities and shit. And I was like, whoa, they might have been fucking royalty. I don't know. They were just out there, so whatever. So okay.
The funny thing is though, like we do have private schools here. It's just that I think there's only like two. Like, and this is in the whole surrounding areas and stuff. Like, so like. And I used to volunteer at a charity shop, and there was one girl there that went to private school that volunteered with me. She was a crazy one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's just off topic. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. We've been talking for like an hour, man. So let's transition a little bit into some other stuff here. So before we get into this, we got a few celebrities and stuff here. All right, well, let's just jump right in. We'll see what we got here. So I got a couple written down, and we'll just shoot off and say what we think. We already said Russell Brand, so he's good. He's married now. Did you know that?
Okay. Yeah, he's been married for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, he's got a couple kids, man. Right, but he's determined, man. He's dedicated. Like he's committed. Like. Man, that's what you got to do. He's like a fucking drug addict. Like he's just like he's like, no, I'm committed. I'm gonna be married, and it's a choice, man, and it's for his best. So good for him.
Yeah. I like Russell Brand. Like he's so smart. He's just such a smart guy.
Oh yeah.
And he's just got a very unique personality. He's got a very unusual voice.
Oh yeah, he's funny, bro.
Oh, what? He's just one. I just think he's a cool. Yeah.
One more tip on Russell Brand, then we'll move to the next one. I once heard him talk about when he was kind of explaining once about women and how to chat with them. This is how he broke it down. I love when guys just break it down to like the most simple thing because he never like learned. He never had a coach. He just was what he was doing. He said he goes yeah. It's two statements and then a proposition. And if you look at a lot of his clips, a lot of them are that. Your name is Fifi. Statement. You have blonde hair. Statement. Would you like me to impregnate you? Proposition. And he often does that. That's really just all he really does. He'll just be like, you're a good interviewer. He's like, I like your smile. would you like to leave with me? And that's what he does. It's funny.
Yeah, yeah, he's a straight up guy. He's a
Yeah.
straight up guy. Like he just says it as it is,
Mm,
and because he's in touch with his integrity and
mm,
he's just saying what's coming from his actual mind. He's not overthinking it.
mm,
They can almost feed that.
mm.
Now, it doesn't mean that she's going to just do what he wants,
No,
right?
no, 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 no.
He's got a better chance because she knows he's present. She knows he's present.
Yeah,
He's just there. He's having fun with it.
yeah,
He's just saying things a bit out of what do you call it, like political correctness. Like
yeah,
he's crossing
yeah,
political correctness, but
yeah.
I like that.
Me too.
I actually,
I
my
love that.
recommendation is my advice to people that like, are politically correct is don't be politically correct. Be edgy. Like now, here's the big. This is a guy I want to talk about. Actually, I mean, I know you've got a list, but Donald Trump. You can touch on him a little bit if you want.
Trump, yeah, he's sweet. Yeah, man. I mean, that's why a lot of girls like him, man. A lot of girls like Trump, bro, because he just
Yeah.
and a lot of stuff he's doing is for a guy to be able to dismiss political correctness, it's showing status and strength because a lot of that politically correct shit is fucking stupid, and the girls know it.
Oh,
They know it. The girls know it deep down. This
yeah.
politically correct shit is fucking dumb. It's not gonna work, and it's all nice guy chodes who are just like being white knights. And so when you're able to dismiss it, it just shows you're cool. So I'm totally on board with that. I fucking hate that stupid. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I see. On a political standpoint, I don't like Trump as a president. I think he's made a lot of bad choices, right?
Different, right?
But in terms of respect for him, I actually respect him as a person.
Yeah.
I respect him as a person, and like I don't agree with everything he's done. I think he does have touches of racism in him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a racist outright, but I think he's said things that, like, I mean, when
Yeah.
you say things, you're going to like, insult people, but I think he's crossed the line in a way that shouldn't be with the racism, right? A little bit. But here's the big thing that I respect him about: that he's just a stand-up guy. He just like he demolished Hillary Clinton
Oh,
in that
yeah.
face-off. Like Hillary Clinton is the complete opposite of Donald Trump. She is politically correct.
Yeah.
That she actually lies what she's saying.
Yeah.
Trump just says what he is. Trump didn't give a flying
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
He just totally
He's
went.
hilarious, man. He's hilarious. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I was in America at the time watching it all. Yeah.
Oh, he's fucking. He's hilarious. And
There you go, yeah.
for sure, the mentality that he uses. I mean, yeah, like you were saying, there's a lot of things that I don't know. I mean, for the president of the United States, sometimes to say some of the shit he does, I agree. It is kind of like, oh fuck, man, it's a bit much. But generally speaking, like, for sure, I understand why people like him and why, because everybody hates that fake politically correct shit, and if you like it, it's something's fucked about you because it's stupid. And girls, as we both know, holy fuck, the shit that they actually respond to is not politically correct at all. At all. In fact, at all, bro. In fact, there really is actually no limit to how far you like from politically correct, really. Like, it's your own choice of just like, I don't want to even I'm not doing that. But no, man. Oh fuck, dude. So anyway, no, he's cool, man. And I mean, I bet you he's had loads of hot women around. Please, married to some hot girl. Like, man, he's good to go.
Yeah. The girl he's married to 20 years younger than him. So, like, that, I mean, and, like, I mean, I don't really know if she was a model or something.
I think she was a model or something.
I think she used to be a model.
Yeah, I think so.
When she's, like,
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she's like a sort of, I think she's from like Eastern Europe.
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like,
She is. Yeah.
But the bottom line is, and this ties in with Prince Harry now.
Oh yeah, he's next, bro.
He was getting questioned a lot. I think it was last weekend. Yeah. But this ties in with Donald Trump because Donald Trump said like the Prince Harry thing. They asked like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, right? His wife, Prince Harry's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they put out a statement online saying vote for Joe Biden.
Oh my!
We really need to get him.
All right. What did Trump say?
Right?
What did Trump say?
They said to Trump, "Do you know Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were in favour of supporting Biden, and they were getting people to rally behind and vote?"
What did he say?
And he went like this. He says, "Yeah." He says, "I've never been a fan of that Meghan Markle." He says, "Here's." It gets even better though. He says, "Here's my advice for Prince Harry." He says, "Good luck."
Yeah.
He says, "Because you're going to need it."
Yeah.
So
100%.
That get really blown out of proportion because they were saying, "How can Trump say that?" and stuff like that. The point he was making, but is this is the way that I've took it, and I'm pretty sure this is what Trump was implying. He's implying that Meghan Markle is using Prince Harry for fame.
100%.
I agree.
Let's go right the fuck in. Let's go right the fuck into it, straight up.
Yeah.
Prince Harry, let's do it, bro.
I don't think Meghan Markle's a bad person.
No.
I think she's caught up in a situation that she likes Prince Harry, but she doesn't like him enough to marry him. She only married him because he's status. Now, some girls do that to an extent, right? But the thing is, she knows in her mind that I'm getting somewhere with this. Like, deep down, I don't think she's that fussed about being with Prince Harry in the long term. That's my opinion. I think they're going to divorce. It's going to be a Diana all over again.
He's in a.
Diana. Look
it's different than Diana. No, it's different. It's different. It's different than Princess Diana and Prince Charles. I think it's different than that. I think it's a different scenario. I think almost.
Oh no, yeah, it's definitely different. Yeah. What I meant was with the whole Princess Diana. This is the part that I get mixed up on. Is it Charles that divorced Diana, or was it Charles that fought with Diana after his first wife? That's I should probably know because I'm in the UK.
Yeah.
Because there's that conspiracy of like, was that a car accident?
Oh well, whatever. That doesn't matter. Like,
but we're not.
Who cares? That's different. Let's focus on Prince Harry, man. Dude, look, man. You're right. I think that Meghan Markle, I'm sure she's cool. I'd run up and chat with her if I saw her, strolling down the street in Toronto where she's from. I'd fucking hop over a fence and roll and chat with her for sure, man. She's attractive. She looks very cool. I'm sure she's very intelligent. And all that type of shit, for sure. Of course I'd want to hang out with her. She looks awesome. But, man, here's the thing. Like, bro, here's the thing, man. Yo, man. Dude, I was saying this right at the beginning. Right at the beginning, bro. Right at the beginning, bro. I remember because I think I was one time my mom was saying something about that or saying, because she watched that a little bit. Oh, Prince Harry getting married. And right from the beginning, I was like, bro, first of all, this girl's like, she's too hot. She's hot, and she's like kind of a mixed race, right? Yeah. She's kind of like a mixed, like half African or something. Yeah. She's half Caribbean, I don't know. So it's a big change for Prince Harry. He's not used to that. So she's too hot. She's of like a different racial background, so it's totally exotic to him. And he's getting caught off guard. And he's like discombobulated. And he's what the fuck? She's not even from England. She's got she probably went to some super liberal university and she got straight fucking A's. So she's down this total other mentality. And he's like, oh, fuck, okay. And soon as he got in with her, she realized, oh, shit, this guy's fucking infatuated with me, brah. he's fucking digging me big time. Shit. And she saw that, and she could just see, like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm just playing my fucking cards cool right here. Just playing cool. And she realized that he was just eating it up. He was just like, oh, fuck, cool. And he got huge money. He's got huge fame. He's got everything taken care of in that department. And she was just playing that game very slow and very cool, and she just kind of let him walk himself right. She didn't even do anything evil. She didn't do a single thing evil. She just let him walk himself right down that path. And every time, what's his brother's name? William, yeah. Every time, William. After the first couple months, William one day said, yo, Harry, bro. He's like, fuck, man, you've been hanging out with that Canadian chick an awful lot, man. Flying over to Toronto and shit, bro. Like, dude, maybe you slow it down a little bit, you know what I mean? And Harry was like, you don't know you don't know me. You don't know what this girl's like. She's this, and this. And even William's wife, Kate. Even she, they're good. He's good with her. That's a good setup. He's set. She's hot, super cool. Yeah. They're in there. They're good. So he did his shit properly, right? So even Kate, one day.
He's a good boy.
He's in a good position. We're not worried about William. We ain't worried about William.
Oh yeah. He's doing everything that he's been told to do. Like, but I mean, it's more to be fair to Harry. It is more important for William to do that though, because he is, like, after Charles, he is first to the throne.
Which is fine. But either way, he's good. We all know the way that he's operating, his relationship. You can just tell it's legit. Yeah. But he even one time, William he one time brought Kate along. They said, come on over. We'll go, or Harry, come on over for fucking tea and we'll chat. And even Kate, she sat there and said, yeah, she said, look, Harry, the thing about women is, if you really give them the opportunity, they'll can be unpredictable times. They'll get a hold of something, and if you let them, they might fucking get themselves wrapped in there. It's not their fault. We all love the women, we love them. But they have a nature, bro. They have a nature. And perhaps there, young Harry, he's only like 20-something. He's only like late 20s, maybe early 30s. Like, perhaps you don't fully grasp the nature yet. And I think that happened and Harry didn't want to hear it. Whatever, man. And that's just my opinion. That's how I see it. And I think he got wrapped a little bit too much. So, I don't know. That's what I see, man. That's for me, that's the situation there. And I love them. I love them both. I love them all. I wish them.
Yeah. They're great. They're great ambassadors.
Yeah.
William and Harry, and I just hope that the brothers stick together, because the thing with Meghan, and I'm just going to say, I don't think there was any real bad intention with the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just think that deep down, she's maybe got a bit infatuated with the whole act. Like, she's not even thought I can get fame out of this, but subconsciously she has.
Yeah.
She just thought, oh, I'm marrying Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's going to know who I am. The world, like, more in a positive sense, but in a darker sense now, because there's been friction with Meghan and Kate.
See, already it's coming.
They've dropped all their responsibilities now.
See she got just from that perspective. It's like she drew him. She drew him way in off path, man. He gave up his career. He gave up his money, his family. Like, to me, those are all red flags. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, fucking Prince Harry, bro. And I'm sorry, Meghan fucking Merkel, too, because I'm sure she's cool. But I just don't like any of those signs personally.
Yeah, so I agree, because for someone of a royal family member, I'm just going to charge this soon because my battery's low, but I'll just finish this point and then switch seats. The long list. But yeah, the thing with Prince Harry has been this is status beyond status.
Oh yeah.
He is a family member, right? Now, see, for me, if I meet a girl that's foreign, right, there's more chance of her using me than me using her because
Mhm.
I'm from the UK, right? So it's more likely her country's poorer.
Yeah.
Now, because I don't have status in general, like on the, like, I mean, well, let's say I go to Brazil, I've probably got a bit more status than the average guy, right? But I just mean like on an
Yeah.
international level, I
Right.
don't have status. I'm not a celebrity or anything,
Mhm.
right? So it wouldn't be that big of a deal if I done that because the girl probably likes me for me
Mhm.
because I don't have that much status. Now she might think, oh, this guy can provide for me better than the guys there. But
Yeah,
most girls are like
perhaps.
that.
Perhaps.
Most girls that are wanting to settle down with a guy are looking for a provider.
Yeah, it's part
Yeah,
of it. It's part of it. So
yeah,
that's fair.
yeah. I mean, and like that's part of the reason why I'm not wanting a girlfriend right now because I don't want to be a provider at this stage.
Yeah, no, and that's fair.
And
Yeah.
number one, I'm 29. I'm still enjoying my 20s, like I said. But number two, I've still got to sort some shit out in my life that
Yeah, yeah.
has to be sorted out. So
Mhm.
yeah, so like I'm not ready for a relationship right now, but when I am, I'll address that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
like
that's fine.
yeah, like I trust my instincts. That's how I work. So like yeah. So but the point I'm trying to make is Prince Harry shouldn't just be going with instincts. Instincts at that level are dangerous.
Mm.
He should be listening to the Queen.
Yeah.
He should be listening to Will, his
Yeah.
older brother.
Yeah.
He should be taking a step back and thinking,
Yeah.
this doesn't add up. Why would a Canadian woman want to come all the way here to the UK when she's living in LA? She's living in LA, Los Angeles. There's not many people who want to go from Los Angeles to the UK, right?
And then
Not
back.
many.
And then they went back down there. See, it's just
Oh,
there's
yeah.
too many things just for me personally that I didn't like the looks of it. You know, when he's at that level, he needs to be ultra, ultra. Of course, every girl that he meets is going to be wanting to fucking marry him. Like, of course. Every single fucking girl he meets wants to get married. He could propose to any girl, and they'd be like, sure. Like, and they'll figure the rest out later. After a year, I don't like him, fuck it, divorce. It's still attention. It's still fucking drama. It's still a big wedding. Like, so I think overall.
There's quite a few celebrities that have got married lately, and you're kind of thinking, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to comment too much in their like marriages because I don't know the ins and outs. But
right.
It's that way as if you're thinking like, have they just rushed into it?
Yeah. Anyway, let's just say. Yeah. Yeah. Go move your thing, man. Let's just say, generally speaking, yeah. You know what I mean? I think he's in a precarious. I think he's in a much more. I think he's in much deeper than he realizes, and he's in a much more precarious situation than he understands, because I don't think he's not coming at it from like a real, I don't think from a real experienced, like you can imagine if he had like Tyler as a coach, Tyler would have been saying shit to him. Like, bro, what about this? Hey, what's going on with this? Are you sure you should be investing so much right away? Take a step back. And he didn't have someone telling him that. I think he was shutting those voices out. I think there was a few times when like I said, William or some of them guys did sit him down. We're like, bro,
I agree.
I think they were like, look, this girl's awesome. We all love her, man. But that still doesn't change that you should probably check yourself. And I don't think he wanted to hear that. So that's what I see there. So I think
I think the conversations happened, but I think they were more light conversations. That this was just when they sort of knew, and William was just saying, "Right, you sure about this, Harry? Is this definitely what you're wanting and stuff like that?" And Harry just didn't see the red flags coming.
Yeah.
William probably did a bit, but probably William didn't even see them as much as us because he's part of, like, he's his brother and he wants him to be happy and stuff. Like, when it's personal, it's a different thing.
Yeah,
You're standing from the outside.
Yeah, it's easier for sure. And let's just say, like, you and I both of us have done foolish things, I'm sure, where we missed clear red flags and other people were like, hey, idiot, look at that. We were like, no, I like her. Meh. So we both are just, we're speaking from experience, like, we're both fucking idiots in many ways. So we know, like.
Well, the big thing for me is, like, I was wanting girls for one night, and then I was going swimming with them the next day.
Yeah, you were saying, yeah. And then these fucking girls are like, well, what's going on? You said we are going to hang out for a night.
Yeah, that no. Yeah, but here's the thing. I was very quick. Like I was actually very clear in what I was wanting. So I done that job fine. I didn't have a problem in that regard. That like they knew I was just down for like a fun thing, right?
Hmm.
The problem is they were testing me. They were saying, right, this guy's just wanting fun.
Oh.
But I enjoy this is the way that I'm picturing the girls. I enjoyed his company. I want to get him out more. But what I should have done is, there's nothing wrong with hanging out with them again. Well, I shouldn't have been messing them all the time. But you live and learn. Yeah,
yeah.
3 years ago. Now, I'm not 100% perfect with it, but I totally like. If let's say I had someone in Vegas come over or something like that, like to my hotel room and stuff like that. Like I'll probably text them back the next day, but it'll just be a blunt text, and we might meet up that night. But it's not like texting like when I wake up.
Yeah.
It's like there's not like I've lost that neediness that I used to have, and I'm not saying I was totally full on needed, but I was definitely on that.
Yeah, no. And here I'll share a quick one from my game that's sloppy, and then we'll move on to the next person. I got another good one coming up. So for me, sometimes stuff I've done in the past, which is sloppy, is sometimes, say a girl's, she's like mediocre keen to come out, like she's mediocre keen, but like I really want her to come out because she's hot or she's super cool.
Yeah.
Or say she's come out once or she come out twice or something, and we hung out once or twice, and she's like, you're all right, like maybe come out. I allow myself to be like, okay, well, she might come out. I think she's gonna come out. Like, oh, she is coming out. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Whereas what I really am trying now, and I'm getting better at it, to fucking hammer home on is like, she's not that keen. Like, she's mediocre keen.
Yeah.
That's all. She's mediocre keen. Yeah. Mediocre. Yeah. She's kind of keen. She thinks you're all right, but she's not more than that. So don't fucking think that. Don't allow yourself to think that. Don't allow yourself to act like that. So that's one area where I'm really working on, because I've been very sloppy in the past of allowing myself to kind of like, and just allow girls even to get away with that. Like now I am getting a lot better where it's like, if a girl's not super keen, I don't even really allow myself to go out with her. Like if she's not super keen, I won't text her back. And this, a very side point, I don't want to go down to this too much because I want to get back to our other people here. I lately, bro, listen to this. This is quite fucking funny, man. Lately, what I've been doing is this is fucking crazy. I won't even take down a girl's number. Because I want to be so fucking firm about it, bro. Because I've been so sloppy in the past, as I'm sure you have. And since we both kind of learned from Tom Torero, we both probably fucked up like this, where I've just collected 10, 20 numbers and just texted them all the same shit. And a few, it's just fucked. It's just stupid. And like one or two of them come out. It's fucking dumb. And so I've gone this other way, bro, where it's like, and I had a couple girls come out without texting them, where I've met them and it's like, oh, that's cool, and it's kind of like they're almost waiting for like the number to exchange, and it's like, well, anyway, I'm gonna do this here on Wednesday. I'll be there on Wednesday. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'll be there on Wednesday. Come by if you want. They're like, oh, okay. Again, almost kind of waiting for me to take down the number, like to confirm. I'm like, all right, well, I'll be there if you want to come by. See ya. And I've done that now at least twice in the past, say, like 1 or 2 months, which is pretty good. Actually, maybe almost 3. So that's pretty good. Because I've been so firm on it, where I just told myself, like, no, I'm not taking down this girl's number. I'm not doing it. And I refuse. And since I was so firm with it, It's like she could tell. Like I was like, yeah, come if you want. And so that was kind of cool. Anyway, that's a side point.
Yeah, but just to add to that then, so like because of the whole COVID thing, I've maybe took it a little bit too extreme. I've not seen any girls in properly in 6 months.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing them either, man. I'm not seeing them either, really. Very rarely.
The only ones I've met is actually just talking in the street, but not actually going out to meet them, just bumping into
Yeah,
them.
me too. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is a couple that I might meet up with the next couple of weeks, just
Here,
just as like
here and there. Yeah.
not as friends, but just as friends. Like, so what I mean by that is I'll not be going as a friend, but I'll be going as a socially distant because like I'm just keep. It's actually fun for me. Like, see this whole rule thing and all that with the whole COVID thing. It's fun for me in the sense of it's gave me a break from women. Like, it's just like I'm able.
Oh yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah, I mean, like you know me with the cold showers, meditation, but I'm exercising 2 or 3 times each day.
Nice.
5 days a week. Saturday I'm doing a bit of yoga. Like I just tone it down. The Saturday, Sunday's my day off.
Yeah.
So like I'm doing so much exercise. I'm watching bits of football, boxing at the weekend, just having a bit of chill fun. I'm looking for like different work now because obviously with like Christmas coming up, there's like different jobs available here, so I'm going to get back and then just save money and then travel hopefully in a couple of months. I'm thinking, but that I might go down England in a couple of weeks. But it's to be confirmed because I'm not sure. It depends how this is going to go, the whole COVID thing. If it starts easing up, I maybe go down London for a week or two.
Sick. Yeah, man. Yeah. But anyway, it's been cool, man. You're right. Like I think it's been good, man. To realize like, just to get rid of that, the total lean back, man. There's so much power in the lean back, bro, and that's what we forget, man. That's what I think dudes like us have forgot because we came from that mentality of just like go, 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 collect the numbers, come out, meet them, get the next girl. I'm sure there's been days. I know I've been lots of days. I had 2-3 dates in a day, plenty of times. And it's just like, get the next girl. You're at 7 o'clock. You're at 9 o'clock. Okay. You're at 10. You just set them up. And the thing is, you lose so many of those girls because you're just on to the next, and it's like if you were able just to chill, and that's what I realized. If I was able just to chill and to lean back, I probably could have capitalized on way more of those, way more with less work, and that's what's fun.
Yeah, I totally get that because when I started, right. Now, like I said, I was in that beginner-ish sort of like 3 out of 10, right? But when I started, I struggled, right? But once I got to that sort of beginner/novice stage, that I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing to the basics. That I knew, like, okay, I'm going out and I've got 1 in 10 were coming out on an actual date. 1 in 10. Nowadays, I do like, and I don't do as much volume because I'm not able to. So, like, for example, like when I used to go out, it used to usually take me like 10 different. Like it used to take me 10 to 20 different girls to get a good solid setting.
Yeah.
Now those 20. Now I get a solid set within 1 to 5. It just varies. Obviously, it depends on who you approach and stuff like that. But the point I'm trying to make is it's a lot quicker these days. So I'm able to chill more because back then I was going right. I was doing my 5 warm-ups, so I was going out and I was saying hello to 5
people. Just nice. 1 second, man. 1 second.
Problem.
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, no worries, no worries at all.
Yeah. So you were
Yeah,
saying 5 warm-ups.
yeah. So I was just saying, spy one was like, nice hat, or hello, like, yeah, you know what, just random shit or whatever, like
Mm.
just to get you in at that moment. But then I was going solid, like, right, that girl, like, wasn't big fuss, just boom, 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 like, just going up in shop malls, like back out shop malls, like, just this is 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm.
And then the big thing I noticed though is I was wasting a lot of time doing that,
Mm.
because if I had been if I'd got a mentor earlier on,
Mm.
and I had course, like, because this is what I was doing. I was going out 3 or 4 times a week and going hard, and then I
Mm.
was missing a few days. That wasn't good, because I'll tell you why. Because when I was after those couple of days that I had off, I was coming back, and it was that way of that anxiety, and I got through it. But it would have been a lot better if I just went out 7 days in a row
Yeah.
and just really grinded at the time. Now I can get away with, like, I can get away with just going out once a week now and be pretty good. Now, it depends what I'm wanting though. If I'm wanting quite a lot of girls in my life and stuff like that, then I'll pick about 3 or 4 times a week.
Mm.
If I'm focused in different areas, maybe just go out one or two. Just like it just varies. But the point I'm trying to make is I don't have to do as much volume now
Mm.
on the whole. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the fucking volume, bro. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know, man. I just got tired of I just got tired of not being able to like yeah, there's just so much power in like the lean back and this idea of like I don't need you. I don't need you.
yeah,
It's just so much power and like I just love the feeling of nah, girl, like none of this maybe shit. None of this like
yeah,
I'll text you later shit. Like no, like I just told you what I'm doing, and if you were keen, you'd come. And
yeah,
if you're not keen, that's fine too. Don't come. And I just because I was so susceptible to just like just get the number. It's like, oh, just get the number and like maybe she'll come out and I don't know. Anyway, that was a side point that I had. So
yeah. It all comes down to the levels, and it all comes down to the reason I was going for the numbers is because that's all I thought I could get.
yeah, that too.
That
Yeah.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
Like the way I done things was pretty poor, to be honest. But the thing that went in my favour was I had the motivation to go out and go out solo.
Mm,
I think going out solo was a major advantage, probably
mm,
one of the best things that I've done with the whole thing.
mm.
Like, because like if a guy goes out solo and he's not very good, but he goes out consistently solo,
He'll get
it
good.
shows that he's got a certain level of confidence in himself, though.
Bro,
Like,
it would be sick, man. If we could link up, man, that'd be sick. If we
yeah,
both collect
oh,
some money and we're able to get to London or Toronto or a big city, man, because both of us, man, learned on our own and
yeah,
completely fucking from the bottom up, man. Just did it, bro. So it's such a skill to have, and now we're like both so trained up and
yeah,
looking for other opportunities. We're both like, we pretty much did what we could with this thing, sitting in some small
oh yeah.
town. It's like, what else is available? And it's just a cool place to be to come from, I think.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because we're both at similar levels, right? Like, if we were to go out, it would be actually beneficial for both of us.
For
It would be more
sure, bro.
it would be more beneficial than without solo,
Yeah,
right?
yes, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. But the point I was trying to make is, although it would be more beneficial, because it's always more beneficial to go out with wings. But the point
If
I was
it's the
trying to
right
make it,
if
yeah,
it's the right fit. Only if it's the right
yeah,
fit.
yeah.
Mm,
So the way I see the fit is, and this is generally speaking, is 2 levels below or 2 levels above
mm,
is the guys that you can even consider going out with.
mm,
Consider,
mm.
like, I mean, you might make exceptions from time to time. Someone that's a close friend or something like that, you just think, oh, I'll just go out for the fuck of it. It's just a kind of fun night or something. But the thing is, like, if I was to go out with a zero, and like, and not in a coaching standpoint, just actually go out, like, and he's like a wing, he wouldn't, I wouldn't learn anything from him at all.
Mm.
So it wouldn't be beneficial for me. and it wouldn't be beneficial for him because it would actually just dishearten him.
Mm,
If he's seen the shit that I'm doing, that would just
mm.
put him off because he can't like.
Yeah,
I
I'm
see,
not. I'm not.
like, you know what? Yeah,
I'm not going out with dudes. A dude who doesn't understand this shit and wants to learn it from me. Honestly, man, like if you're not coming as like a peer, you
mm-hmm.
have to exchange value for it in the same way. If you were an electrician and
Yeah,
I wanted you to fucking install new electrical wires in my house, you have to pay for it, man, because it's just
yeah,
absurd. It's fucking absurd to just do it randomly for free. And I've done it so many times with guys repeatedly. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. They don't appreciate it. It cannot be done. You cannot just because guys just won't appreciate it. It's fucking hilarious. You know it. I know it. I don't. We don't need to go on about it anymore. We've already fucking gone on about it so many times. Let's move the fuck on
yeah,
to it.
yeah, yeah. And just to finish, there is some guys because they know that you're a good bit above them. Like especially a couple of years ago when I was putting out things that I was going to charge people and stuff, I was going out with guys for free just for fun, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But then they were trying to get it more like a coaching session, so I had to hammer that down that it wasn't. It's just
Mm.
that I wing and I'll give them the odd tip here and there. Like now, if I'm not actually getting paid to coach someone, I'm just going out and giving them like normal tips and just I'm focusing on myself. Like like even like let's say we go out, right. That's the way it'll be. Like we go out, we both go to the club. Like oh, like you could have done that better. Yeah, you could have done that
Yeah,
better.
yeah. That's different.
I'm not saying to you, right? You've got to go and approach 10 girls. You've got to
No,
say
no,
this. You've
no,
got to,
no, no, no,
that's not
no,
my job.
no,
That's
no,
not my job. Yeah,
no, no, no. But guys need so much attention and so much help that as soon as you give them an inch, they just need a mile. So anyway, we're done with
yeah,
that. Fuck that. Let's move on, man. Okay. So we went through. We
yeah.
did Russell Brand. We did Prince Harry. That was a good one.
yeah.
Now here's one for you, man. Will Smith, bro.
Will Smith. Yeah. So I don't really know the story as well with Will Smith. What I do know is like, is it the woman that cheated on Will Smith, like his
Yeah,
wife?
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, my my theory with that is they're really trying to cover it up. Will Smith is really protecting his children. Actually, that's the way that I'm seeing it. He knows that they're better together for the children. Here's my opinion: if a woman cheats on me, she's out.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I, I can forgive. I can
Oh yeah.
forgive.
Oh yeah.
I can't stick with someone that's going against like
No, no.
I'm all about integrity, right?
Oh
I'm all about
yeah,
integrity.
yeah.
Like if someone does that to another person, then they're not a person that I want to be around.
Yeah,
Like
no, she's got to go right away.
especially in a relationship. Like I mean, see if she's not happy with the relationship, own up to it. Tell them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like,
So
here's the thing, man. It's like, it just all of it. Like, I mean, I watched a little bit of that little interview they did together where it's just cringe, man, to hear it. It's like, and again, that's just such an example of a guy, Will Smith, man, was just a legend, just a fucking winner, just a positive, upbeat, cool, outgoing, successful guy. And it just goes to show you that, like, if you don't stay on top of it,
yeah,
you have to stay on top of your game and on top of your relationship, and you have to keep it fucking straight. Because if you
yeah,
don't, these cracks start to form. And it's not the girl's fault, man. That's the thing. That's what these fucking MGTOW chodes don't understand. These fucking angry fucking dudes. Like, it's not the girl's fault, man. Of course she's gonna see the crack and weed her fucking way in there and start trying to crack it and fucking ruin it and all this type of shit.
yeah,
Because that's what they do, man. That's nature. That's just the female, um, the true nature. They can't help it. It's your job to, like, no. No, 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 Jada. No. You want to fucking do that? Then go. Go,
Yeah,
go, go ahead. You can. Go ahead. You're not coming back here, is all. And he even, I didn't watch the whole thing. It was too cringe, man. Just a few
yeah. Here,
pieces of it.
I just read up on it a little bit. Yeah,
Just a little bit. It's like he was already saying, like a year before that, he was like a year before that, he was already like at the end of his rope with her. Like he
yeah,
knew that it really wasn't working and that it was kind of there was these cracks. So he knew. But what do we do? What do us fucking dummies do? Oh, it's okay. It's all right. We can maybe sort of carry on. And that's when it started, right? And she just
yeah,
kept going, kept going. And now here he is holding the bag. Fuck. And I mean, that's what I see. And it's unfortunate, you know?
yeah. It's a terrible situation, but the thing is, he's allowing her to behave in a way that's wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Now that is completely wrong. That is, he should just. He's actually made it hard for himself now. He's actually made it very hard because he could have just got out of that relationship, right? He would get humiliated, but he would still have his integrity and dignity in check. That it might have been his fault that caused this in the first place. Now you have to look at that. So he might have to take some responsibility for why that happened.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but responsibility is different from going out of the vows that you made in a marriage. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Like, yeah, he did like a year ago. He probably did let a few things slide and blah blah blah.
yeah,
But you know, at the end of the day, it was still her that went ahead and did that. But I don't know. I think it just goes to show you, like, you have to be. You can afford to be without the girl. You really can. But you
yeah.
can't
Oh
afford.
yeah,
You can't afford to let it undermine your situation. And that's where just going back to that point I had before about just that leaning back, that's why that's so important because you always want to be willing to do that. Like any little thing that's not quite right, it's like, I'm good, lean back. There's going to be
yeah,
more opportunities, there's plenty more women, but I cannot afford to have anything around that's not quite right. So that's what comes all the way back to my point, which is like the girl who's like, oh, maybe I'll come out. It's like, no, 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 no.
yeah.
You no, because that's gonna be a problem later for me. If you're
Oh
not
yeah,
already keen, it's no. And see how that same mentality. Not and again, I'm not fucking perfect at all. Will Smith's a fucking legend, but anyway, just in this situation, you see how that mentality would have served him so well. Hey, Jada Pinkett, shut no, no, that shit's not working. We're done. If you
yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Definitely.
And I would, and that's what I think we all wanted to hear Will say that even now when he was sitting there talk with her. We all wanted to just hear him because she was just running him. It was fucking shame. She was just running the frame of like, well, I was just exploring my fucking da da da, and I just had a little
That's a
infatuation
lot
with
of
some.
bullshit. Yeah,
That's all fucked. It's like
yeah,
it was fucking and it's a shame because you can see how Will's entranced, just like Harry. He's fucking kind of trapped, and she's got him leeched in, and he's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, well, you were just exploring your fucking your sexuality and da da da, and we all, and then I'll let you say, and we'll move to the next one. We all just want to hear Will just be like, well, you know what, Jada, like, I mean, yeah, it was just. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. And anyway, so I mean, this is the end. So I wish you well in life, and we're done. So goodbye. And I think we all just wanted him to say that. Just like,
yeah,
obviously we're done. Like, clearly
yeah,
this is over. I can talk with you here for a little while, but we're done. You know that.
yeah.
So anyway,
Well, I don't think she's a bad person. I
me
don't think
neither. No,
anyone's a
I
bad
think she's
person.
probably really great. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's a bad person in the world. I just think there's bad actions, right? There's bad mentalities and there's bad vices or addiction that if you're not careful, you'll get caught up in something that you don't even realise. It doesn't make sense though because she's got was it she's got the kids, Jaden, and the girl's called. I can't remember. They've got a few kids though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're more like kind of in their early 20s and stuff now. But to do that and put them through all that, because that'll have a massive effect on the kids as well, right?
Mm.
You can already see it has. Like, there's probably been a lot of arguments in that house, right?
Probably, yeah.
I can't comment. I'm not there, but you know,
Yeah,
just
no,
speculate. Yeah, it's a public thing. So it's come out public. So yeah.
Anyway, we're just saying this not in any disrespect to Will or Jada or Prince Harry or any of these people. This is only just as a way, hopefully, to show particularly young guys who don't comprehend and don't understand what this journey is and how things really are. We're just saying this. Hopefully, we can just illuminate things to you and illuminate what the path is. It's not hopeless. It's not all dark and doom and gloom and fucking angry MGTOW. No. There is a hopeful, productive, positive path. And we're just kind of using these as examples to kind of show you guys what that is. Okay? And that's the reason for it. Yes, Richie, you agree? I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just another bit of advice that's to do with this as well. Some guys rush into relationships when they've not got the experience that they need.
Yeah.
Now, each person's different. Some guys have to experience quite a lot of girls before they'll be ready to settle down. Yeah. Some guys it's only one.
Yeah, for
most
sure.
Most guys it's not one though.
No.
Most guys it's not one. Most guys will need a few casual relationships before they get a rough idea of this is the type of girl that I want to settle down with. To find it in one, some guys are just maybe they grew up in a village and they just had a very maybe they just grew up in a very farm type place that they weren't meeting many people and like they had conversations with different girls and they hung out with different girls but nothing really happened and then they just had one casual relationship and that was it. They got married.
Yeah.
And it was for them and that is what they only needed, but most guys will need a few casual relationship.
And a lot of that stuff too. It's like it's reflective of like the age that we live in now. Like 100 years ago, I think we talked about this before in another video. Like 100 years ago, it was like when you were living in a small town and like you never even hardly went more than like 100 kilometers away from your town or village was like a really big trip. Like you went to the city twice a year to collect some things for the farm or something, and you just end up like going to a dance where your families all introduce you to their daughter, and they kind of almost help you. Well, this would be a good match, and you two guys, we can give you a plot of land. And it was just a different way of behaving. It was just a different mentality, and the girls were understood that too. It's not like the girls were banging tons of guys. It was a different understanding. But now you have in the year 2020, man, it's like we got fucking breast implants and fake cosmetic surgery and makeup and fucking Instagram filters and OnlyFans and fucking makeup, fucking YouTube channels, and girls are fucking on Instagram and they're hot as hell and they're on Tinder. It's a totally different ball game, and the girl doesn't need you. She doesn't need your money, so she's access to fucking every football player and drug dealer, and it's a different game. So you've got to look at that realistically and understand how you can play with that.
Yeah, see, we're so lucky that we were born. Like I know you're born in the 80s, I'm born in the 90s. They're great years to be born. I mean, we've had it so much easier than people born in the 1920s and 1930s.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but here's the big catch though. They didn't know any different. Their life was just the way that, like, I mean, they were probably discussing the things about what people had done in the 19th century. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, everybody, like, so they were probably, like, and then probably our great-grandchildren were laughing at us. Like, say, those guys were talking about Instagram. That's going for 60 years.
Yeah, and the truth is like, it's still not working for many people. Like, there's many, many, many guys who still are having no success with women. Like literally none. Like even if they do have a girlfriend or even if they are married, it's still not a good situation for them. And that's the vast majority of guys. Like we're talking like, oh yeah, like well over 50% for sure.
Yeah. The problem I find is the more conservative a country, the easier it is for a guy.
Actually, that's a good
Yeah.
point. The conservatism actually, it's weird, and it's weird even to say, but like in many ways, it actually does make sense. It really does because it's crazy, and I never would have thought this before. But the more I understand things, the more I'm like, oh no, that like even religious conservatism, it's
Yeah.
kind of when you really understand how things are, it's like, oh, okay, it kind of does make sense. It kind of does even the playing field and make things a little more reasonable.
Yeah, it's really really interesting though. Like, and I don't know it for sure all the insights and stuff. But what I do know is like I'm just looking at my map here in the corner. So I'm going to just choose a country that's very strict. So you've got Afghanistan, right? Just like at the top of the list. So see Afghanistan for a guy that's a 5 over in Afghanistan, he will have a better chance of getting girls than a 5 in Britain or
That's a good
Canada.
point. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, that's a good point. Because the guy in
The girls,
yeah,
yeah, the girls over there have a limited access to men in the first place,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But what you also find is there's more guys that are 5s. Like guys in like in terms of the country, like so like probably a guy that's a 5 over in Afghanistan wouldn't be a 5 if he came over here, right?
No.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, in terms of that country, like I'm just talking about your average guy in Afghanistan that's okay. It was like what you'll find is most guys are probably in that country 3 to 7, so there's not much of a difference. Whereas in liberal countries like mine and yours, that are saying, "Oh no, you freedom of speech." Um, let's all go for feminism and all that. Like what happens is the girls dictate the show.
Oh yeah, and that's not a good thing.
Whereas over in Afghanistan, the men dictate the show.
I know, and this is
Yeah,
it's such a hard point. It's such a difficult point, and it's from such a high paradigm. That's the thing. Like when I first, before I knew about any of this stuff, I really would have thought, like, just believe that, like, you should just, the women should do everything and should be like everyone's equal and they like women deserve to run everything. But the more and more and more you really understand how things work, it's quite terrifying because you
yeah,
actually do see like, oh, the like conservatism and even some of that religious conservatism and some of that stuff, you're like, oh, like they were onto something because you realize that. And I don't want to go down this path too much because again, it
yeah.
that gets dark, and you and I, we don't want that. None of us, no cool guys want that like dark like shit. We understand that it's possible that that exists, but we're just like, let's try and all be cool so we can have a good time and a good life so we don't have to do that dark shit. But it does
Yeah.
exist, and it's like all that shit like that feminism and all that, like the truth of that is like it's not good for the girls. That's what's so
No,
terrifying. Like it's not good at all for them. Like
but it's good. It's good for guys like us that are above average,
yeah,
slightly above average.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because no matter how much they go on and on about that feminism, it still doesn't matter because all the hot women will still respond favorably to a cool guy who just operates in a cool way. And it just doesn't matter what the fuck they say. So any guy who's willing to just take the journey, he can just dismiss that shit. And that girl, she'll be like, "You're right, feminism." And then later that night, she'll be out and she'll meet you or me, and she'll be like, "You're funny and cool. Let's go." And it just doesn't
yeah,
matter. And it's let's not go too into that, but it's just it doesn't work for them. It's just they get this fantasy about what they can do. They don't end up meeting a cool guy. They miss their window of when they can have their kids. They don't get it. They're stuck with some stupid corporate job that they thought would make them happy, but it didn't. And it's kind of fucked, and it's kind of unfortunate. And
Yeah, I'm all for equal rights, but I'm for equal rights, not more rights. That's my concern.
hmm,
I believe in society today that women have slightly more advantages over men in terms of they dictate, like, right, and I think that's wrong because, and it's not that I'm not against the women for it,
no, no,
because
no,
I'm
no.
all, yeah, I'm all like, see women online on, let's just use Instagram for example, see women commenting and other women and encouraging and all that. That's all great. I like that shit. But what I don't like is that when you get the 20%, because 80% of women are genuine women that don't bother with the whole feminism, right?
Hmm.
The problem with the 80% though, well, the majority of the 80%, the problem with the 80% is they don't do anything about it,
Yeah, they
right?
just yeah.
Yeah,
It's that
yeah,
very vocal minority, man. And like
yeah, yeah.
that's
But the other 80% back it. Like
yeah.
they don't back it in the sense of like
Yeah.
they're out in the streets
No,
protesting and
no,
all
no,
that, but
but they
back
support
it
it.
as in,
And it's a deep
yeah,
it's a deep rabbit hole, man, and it's full of nuanced points, bro. Like, and the bottom line, and I'm totally convinced of this, it isn't good for them. It's not. It's just not good for them, and they can't.
yeah,
They
good for
can't.
us.
Yeah, yeah. It's just hurting them, and it's any guy who's willing to dismiss it and just learn how things really work. He's just going to constantly capitalize even more because then he's got all the. In fact, it's just no limit to how much success you can have because then you've got all these hot women who plus now they have jobs and you don't even have to pay you don't need to support them or anything. They have their own fucking jobs.
Yeah,
And on top of that, there's less and less and less cool guys because society is constantly belittling men are fucking bad and so there's way less cool guys. So and the women are more and more and more like told that they can have everything. You can have everything, but there is no guys for them to have. So there's only a few left, and so we're just like, oh my god. And then we have less and less motivation to settle down because we're just like, but
yeah,
there's this new hot girls all the time coming up. Like,
yeah, yeah. But you make good points there because when you take the Afghanistan thing back,
yeah,
we've had a mini test of it.
yeah,
Are you good, man?
yeah. Go
No,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. No, I was just going to say, if we take the whole Afghanistan, the conservatism, we've been living in conservatism for the last 6 months because of the
Yeah,
whole COVID situation.
yeah,
Like it would have been easier for me to decide, right, I'm going to get a girlfriend because of COVID, right? The reason I didn't is because that would have been out of integrity. I would have only been getting a girlfriend so that I can actually, because if you have a girlfriend, you're allowed to meet them, if you know what I mean, like different households, whereas I'm not allowed to meet girls just now, like in general. So that would have been the easy option.
mm,
It wouldn't have been the right option
mm,
because I would have only been doing that so that I could meet a girl. That would have been wrong.
mm,
But the point I'm trying to make is, it would make if this was going to go, on for a long time. I'm not. I probably still wouldn't, just
mm.
because I'm just enjoying my own company and stuff like that now.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
if, let's say that they came out and said this is going to be on for the next 2.5 years, right? Then I have to reevaluate. Then I
Mm.
have to think, right, I'm not going to be able to enjoy my 20s the way I wanted to now.
Oh
So that
yeah,
I'm not going to get that. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not going to get that back
yeah. That's
because by the
right.
time
Yeah. Oh
by the
yeah.
time I'm able to go to the clubs, I'm going to be 31.
That's a good
Like,
point.
right?
That's a good point,
So,
man.
so, so then, so then, yeah. So then I've got to make a decision of, is it, maybe my gut says, well, maybe actually it is better to have a girlfriend because
Yeah.
by the time I'm 31, if I have a girlfriend just now, then I can start building the family.
Yeah.
Whereas,
that's
if
a
yeah,
really good
whereas
point,
if
man.
yeah,
That's a really good point because that's what it's like. You're right for the like ultra conservative. It's like, look, you really can't have any physical sexual relations really unless you're married in a way. Like that's kind of a really conservative thing. And it's the same for the girls because
yeah,
it's like, well, and this comes from a time when there was like not birth control and all that type of shit. So it's really like you have to really think about it.
yeah,
And it's like you're right. That even for me, like that would change my perspective. Probably, I probably still wouldn't bother, but it would at least change my perspective where I'd be like, oh, I'm really not going to just have access to a lot of women or anything. I guess at least you would consider the option of maybe it does make more sense in that way to get married or something like that. Whereas, and again, even back to
yeah,
that point of why that shit doesn't even serve them, all that feminism shit, is because now a guy has like no motivation to get married. Like
yeah,
he just has like fucking hardly any. He's just like, what the fuck? There's no motivation
yeah,
there. And on top of that, you're getting loads and loads and loads of really high quality women who are like desperate to find a guy to marry because you've got all these women who got like master's degrees and shit, are like accomplished athletes and some type of shit, and they're fucking hot. And it's like they end up hanging out with fucking dickheads like me and you who
yeah,
don't even need to get married at all. And we're just like,
yeah,
and it's like, so she's got, it's just fucked. And so she's like hoping that like me or fucking you is gonna marry her. And because there's so many fucking beta blue pill chodes that aren't even an option for her.
yeah. I totally agree because the only way that I've been able to interact, apart from just going out and meeting the odd one, but not purposely, just when you're out, maybe on a walk or something, a jog. Like the only way has been online, which I don't really like online,
Yeah, it's not as
right?
good, man. It's not as
I've
fun.
had to just make do. Yeah, yeah. I've had to just make do.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but again, I've not really been that bothered about it. I've just been, I've really just used it the same way that I used it before. When I've got a bit of spare time, all right, I'll go on Tinder. All right, I'll check this out, check that out. I've had invitations. I've had invitations that, like there was one girl like 2 weeks ago that, oh no, it was 4 weeks ago that, like she was trying to like get something going with me, and I'm saying, look, let's see how this COVID thing goes. I'll get back to you. I got back to her and said, right, we'll meet up, but nothing's happened and stuff like that. She says, oh, I can come down and pick you up in a car. I said, no, we're not.
Ah,
I said, no, we're not getting in the same car together. Because and here's the thing. See, 18-year-old me would have been more of the rebel that just said, oh, fuck COVID.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
now I think of the big picture. Now I think of when I'm going to visit my grandparents who just stay up the road 5 minutes, that when they're older, they're more vulnerable. That,
Yeah.
okay, I can go out, I can go to the cinema, I can go to the shops, I can meet up with people, but I'm not taking it any further than that because although I think the whole thing's blown out of proportion,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm just being careful with it because
Mm.
I'm waiting until it's going to go back to normal. Now, the problem is we've been warned that it might be for another 6 months.
Ah, yeah.
That's not a confirmation though. If that is the case, then I have to start. Then that thinking, what I was saying,
Yeah.
goes from 5% to 20%. Now I'm starting to think, well, it's probably still good if I'm single, but
Right.
there's that extra.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I also think it's harder for the girls. I really do. I think it's been harder for the women
oh yeah,
because they're so used to being out and getting the attention, having tons of guys talk to them. I think
yeah,
it's way harder for them. And I think what's happened, especially with guys who understand this and are already kind of cool, already kind of on the journey, it's been really good for us, man, in this crazy where we've all had to take a chance, take this opportunity to be like, okay, I mean, it's way harder to meet women because nobody's around, everyone's wearing a mask, and we've all had to be like, oh, okay, well,
yeah,
can I do something else? And we've all been like, oh, I can do something else. And I think so many of us, like we're kind of both in this boat where we've been like, oh man, there's lots of other shit to do. Like this is fucking awesome. And
yeah,
I don't think we would have realized that otherwise because we're so distracted. We're just like, oh, just more women. Oh, she's hot. Oh, let's meet her, date her. And
yeah,
and and now that we've been kind of forced to do this, like legitimately, I'm not even at all just saying this. Like I legitimately am like, I think it's cool. Like I think it's fucking sweet. Like it's just this real nice feeling of like, and it's helped me so much when I was saying before about like not even taking the number. It's just give me strength to be like, nah, like I don't, unless it's
Oh,
really a good fit and you're really keen. Like I just as soon not do it. Like it's fucking sweet because I know I can now.
I mean, the way I look at it now is we're going to get fast tracked from going from intermediate to advanced because number one, there's more relationships. So if people are in more like if there's more couples, then there's less guys going out. Yeah, if there's more couples, there's less guys going out. So if there's less guys going out, the competition gets easier. Yeah, and then the second point is because it's the competition's easier, we're able to push ourselves more. But here's the final point: what's the major thing that we've been doing that other people haven't? Some have, some haven't. We've been working
Self-development.
on ourselves the whole 6 months.
Yeah, self-development.
You've been doing your meditation. You've been doing all different various things. I've been
Working
doing
out.
meditation,
Yeah.
shower workouts, spend time with family,
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, I mean, I was even on your channel the other day, like because you've got all these different people now, like doing all different videos. I mean, yeah, you had a German guy,
Yeah.
like
Swedish, yeah.
was it yeah, there's quite yeah. You've got so many. So I'm saying you're building the channel better, like
Yeah. Different ideas, talking about different
yeah,
interesting things.
yeah. But you've really been self developing yourself.
Oh yeah.
When a lot of people haven't.
I know. It's crazy. They've been watching Netflix.
Yeah, and I watch Netflix.
Yeah,
Like,
sure, me too, here and there,
yeah,
but not fucking 7 hours a day.
once a week.
Yeah. Once in
Roughly,
a while, I'll put a
roughly,
movie on. It's like
yeah.
that's
So
enough. I'm
I'll
good.
probably watch. I watched a movie Saturday night. That Eurovision film, really funny. I'd seen it before.
Yeah.
I'd seen it a couple of months ago. Will Ferrell, really funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You should check it out if you get.
I seen he made that. He's got the Swedish accent.
Yeah.
He's fucking. His wife's Swedish. I know that.
Yeah, it's a good laugh. Yeah,
I might check that out. Actually, I like Will Ferrell, man. He's a legend.
Yeah, and even if you're watching a few films a week, but it's with people, like your family members and stuff,
Something.
right? I can see that gets by. But if you're sitting from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. watching 5 movies, and then you're going online and Pornhub.com for a couple hours and then back to the movies, like I'm
it's
saying,
just point, and it's not,
yeah,
man. It's like, dude, man, totally. Like it's, yeah, man. It's good, man. It's good for us. Like it's. We all just want things to be peaceful, man, and good, and want people to get along and do better. It's like so much of this stuff's all built on fucking anger and and hate and victim stories. It's all fucked. Like, and I don't like that shit, and I don't want to be around it, and
no,
I don't want dudes around me who fucking talk like that. Dudes who are petty and fucking dudes who like just have no initiative or motivation. Like I don't want that retarded shit around me. I don't want guys who say they're gonna do something then don't. It's fucking stupid. Like, and to be fair, it's the same with girls. Like if she starts like just saying some shit that's like talk, like I don't want that around me. Like I don't need it around me. I'm not gonna fucking have it. And it really, that's just I don't know what else to say. Like I'm just
yeah, and I'm very careful with that, especially over in Scotland, because like if you're talking generally, I mean, where I live's rough, the whole town, but the actual particular areas, like I live in a kind of decent part of the area, right? So, but the rough parts are very nearby me. Like you're talking a 10-minute walk away. Like Europe, everything's close. So, the point I was trying to make though is there's a lot of people in Scotland that don't have good mentalities.
Yeah.
Like Scotland's just like there's so many things that created that in the first place. We don't have the sun much. We don't have good weather that much. It rains all the time. People are drinking lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drinking culture's huge. It's huge in the UK, but it's really huge in Scotland.
Oh yeah,
really huge.
Drinking's so poisonous and bad, man, for people.
Yeah,
overall, it just the general just drinking, man, just the general culture of drinking. It's so toxic. It's so depressing. It's just it is just a terrible thing. Drinking in general. You
yeah,
can have the odd beer here and there if you can do that. It's fine, but
yeah,
you should not ever be just drinking a lot, especially with a bunch of
yeah.
guys, especially getting together with a bunch of guys and drinking. I would say almost never ever do that. Like once a year, maybe. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's what I do at most. Like when I'm looking at the last time I drank was February. That was the last time I drank
yeah,
alcohol.
that's
Yeah,
plenty. So you're coming up soon to into the next one, once a year.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. But here's the thing. That wasn't even a night out. That was a family meal.
Oh yeah, well there you go. Yeah, it's like
It,
that's enough, man.
but
So
it's
many
not
there's
like
so many people who booze like 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's fucking crazy.
that. I bet I wasn't 4 or 5 times a week, but I used to I used to booze more than I like back in my teen days. I used to booze a bit more.
Oh,
Yeah,
me too. I was a boozer hard, man. I would booze hard, bro. Drinking rum and shit was retarded. That's why I don't drink anymore. But anyway.
it actually helped me with girls in the short term, but it actually caused me more pain in the long term
Me too. I was just
because
me too. It kind of
yeah,
helps you, like when you're out, you're kind of partying, like, oh, this is fun, but it doesn't really help you. It's not really the right path.
it make you more aggressive in the good sense. It make you like for me, the big difference I noticed when I get drunk, like when especially when I hadn't learned this, when I got drunk, I was a lot more physical. I was a
Okay.
lot like
Yeah.
yeah. So that's something I've carried with me.
Good. Yeah.
Now it's harder when you're sober because
Yeah.
when you're drunk, you're physical, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
But when I'm sober, I have to remember
Yeah.
how was I physical.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
able, yeah. But most of the time when I'm out, I'm drinking water. I'm not even drinking caffeine.
Yeah. Me neither. No, I don't. I drink water or nothing. Like.
It all comes back to my final thing of what night is it? If it's a night to go out and
Mm.
meet women on a methodical approach that I'm approaching, I don't have numbers. I just say I'm going to go out and I'm going to approach a lot of girls at the club. This is at night time.
Mm.
I'm only drinking water the whole night. If I decide to go out and it's just a fun night, like, oh yeah, just an odd one off. Let's go to the casino and I can talk to as many people as I want, or I don't have to talk to anyone. Yeah, I'll have a drink or two. I might have a coke, caffeine or something.
Mm.
But it's not something that's happening very often with me. Most of the times I'm going out, I'm drinking water. Majority of the time, 90% of the time, I'm drinking water.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the booze ain't good. Okay, man. So I don't know. We've gone through a couple good topics. Do you want to maybe we'll hammer off some quick, a few little rapid fire celebrities here, and then maybe we can.
Yeah,
We've been over, I think, almost 2 hours, so we'll wrap it up here soon.
yeah. We'll do a quick fire and then we'll just finish off. Yeah, that's cool.
All
Yeah.
right,
So,
cool.
a couple of names still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we had Russell Brand, that was good. Prince Harry, that was good. Will Smith, that was good. I had Dan Bilzerian. We've already gone over him before.
Ah,
He's doing it right. He's running sick game. He's got it set up in a really good way. We can all learn from him. Let's just say that.
yeah. Did he have a girlfriend for a while?
You know what? He previously had a girlfriend, like before the whole kind of Instagram lifestyle lit up. He had a little bit of a
Yeah.
girlfriend. That kind of ended. He was still kind of friends with her, I guess. Then he lit this whole Instagram thing going up. But here's a little inside tip. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. This is a little bit of secret knowledge that I discovered from studying Dan Bilzerian a bit. Listening to that interview he did with Luke. I watched RC Luke. I watched a couple interviews he did on London Real and shit, and his sort
Oh
of
yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that
that
one.
was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he did. And
I've
if you watch the Ignite, his company Ignite host, I don't know if I mentioned this before.
seen it. Yeah, yeah. I
Check
checked
that.
it out.
And what
I
you'll
think you
notice
mentioned
is,
that last year.
yeah, there is a chick that is kind of like his it's kind of like his regular kind of chick,
Yeah.
and she sort of
Well,
hangs out there and shit.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you the one I like. You see his Instagram, right?
I don't look at it regularly, but anyway.
Okay. Well, this one was quite very very tan, but she was wearing a sort of like she had like goldy type shoes and then like a gold sort of dress.
Okay.
She's sort of sitting on his knee. I don't know if you see like.
Okay. No, I haven't. I was almost going to bring it up, but don't worry about it.
But the one I'm thinking of is like the girlfriend. Like she's this kind of blonde one that's quite small. she seems to be in a lot of the pictures. Like,
Let me just bring.
one,
I'm just gonna bring it up here on my phone, and I'll just take a quick look at it. Um, I think this girl was on in like the Harry Potter movies or some shit.
yeah. So I'll tell you the date of the one I'm talking about. I've got my phone as well. Yeah.
Huge shout out, man. We all love Dan Bilzerian. This is just
Oh
only
yeah.
only love for him, man. He's a fucking legend. So whatever we can do to fucking support old Dan, he's a legend. He's gonna be president. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's the king of Instagram for sure.
Oh, he's definitely the king
Okay.
of Instagram. So where you at, man?
So the date is the 12th of July, 2019.
Oh, okay. So you're way back there.
Yeah. And it's actually London launching night. That's the.
Oh God, how the fuck do I do this now? All right, just one second.
You probably just scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, just how do you get to like the? Or it's okay. Hold on. I wanted it in the other. Okay, I'll go down there a bit.
It's not too far back. It's like
what's
maybe 10 rows or so.
Okay, and what's it by? What are the pictures? Can you just show me on your screen there, or do you have it on your phone?
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh shit! Okay, there he is. Yeah, just see. Let me see if that's the. Let me see if that's the girl. I just want to see if that's the girl I thought it was. Oh yeah, there he is. Okay, let me see. Is that her? No, that's not her. But okay.
Well, I've got the name of the girl, so you could just search for the name of the girl.
I'm not looking at her fucking shit, man. But I know who you mean. Yeah, oh yeah, she looks like she's Indian or something. Yeah, that's pretty hot, man. He's having a good time there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I don't know if I can find the chick that hangs out with him a lot. She got on the down low. It's not his girlfriend, but you can tell by the way he talks to her and stuff, and the way the other girls talk to her. She hangs out there all the time. She's smoking weed with him. If he's got anything close to a girlfriend, it's her. But we don't
have to look at her, but we know the one that it's kind of like the small one, and she's got the blonde hair and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she's not in any of like the big pictures. I don't think she goes. That's when he goes out with all the other girls. Anyway, whatever. Fuck it. Okay, so that's Dan Bilzerian. We love him, man. And also one quick little point on that. Not just Dan, but some of that stuff is what's really caused me to shift my focus from just like meeting a ton of girls and collecting a ton of numbers and getting them a lot of dates to starting to look at the big picture, man. Which is like, look, bro, doesn't matter how many times you walk up and down the fucking main street and collect the girls and, hey, what's up, girl? Da da da. At the end of the day, man, Dan Bilzerian ain't walking down any fucking streets. He doesn't have to, man. He's got the multi-million-dollar mansion.
That's almost where I'm trying to get.
Yeah, and me too. And I'm learning that it's like I remember Arity Luke talked about this once because he's bros with Dan, and he was saying he's like, look, man. He's like, I'd go to fucking Cabo or Ibiza or wherever the fuck. And he's like, I'd walk up and down that beach and shit. He's like, I'd meet every girl out there. But he said, look, man, at the end of the day, all them girls are ending up out on that fucking yacht in the harbor anyway, man. He's like, I had to start thinking, bro, I got to figure out how to get myself a yacht. Or it doesn't have to be a yacht, but something along those. It doesn't have to be necessarily even the money. It's just this other mentality. And I'm starting to think like that because it's like, that's just a different level. It's just exponential results. And it's a different mindset. And I'm trying to get there now because the other shit is limited, I believe.
Yeah. It's like anything in life. It's like if you're a great guitar player,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense for you to still be sitting in your house playing guitar.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It makes sense for you to go to California and be on tour with a singer.
Yeah, or even just playing at your local pub. It's like you're playing at your local pub. You've been there for 5 years, playing at my local pub again, singing Wonderwall and fucking for the sing Stand By Me all over again. It's like, bro, can you go to California and actually give it a real shot for once? And I think that's what we're saying. Okay.
Yeah. There's different levels to this, and like even me and you now, like we're not out all the time. But we definitely have spells of that. Like maybe after COVID, we'll be out for a couple of weeks or something. But the point I'm trying to make is like I don't really see being out on the streets and stuff. I really don't see myself doing that in a couple of years' time. I
I
really
don't
don't.
think it's the most productive thing. It's like, let's get into something else. Where's the business? Where's the money? Where's the movement? There's other things to be done, and it's just back to that guy playing guitar at the local pub for fucking. He's playing there for a couple free beer, and he thinks he's winning. It's like I
Yeah,
got free beer a night, and I play guitar. It's like that's us. I collected 10 numbers, and one girl came out. It's like what the
yeah,
fuck, man. Dan Bilzerian doesn't collect any numbers. He's got the hottest girls in the world. So
yeah,
anyway, let's move along here, and we'll finish up here soon. So we did Dan Bilzerian. Okay, here's a good one for you. Brad Pitt.
yeah. Brad Pitt. Okay, yeah. So obviously Brad Pitt's a 10 out of 10 looking guy.
Oh yeah.
He's been acting for a while,
Mm-hmm.
a long time, like
Mm-hmm.
what 30 years or
Oh
something
yeah,
plus.
huge social proof and fucking everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Because of all that, he's got massive amount of confidence, a massive amount of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So he and this really ties in with Leonardo because I can kind of, like Leonardo's like a slightly younger version of Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know how they've got the similar hair and stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
what you find with all those guys is they start going down different roads.
Mm-hmm.
Like and everybody thinks, God, they're getting with this model, and they do like that. It's not that they don't like that; like they still like that. Like guys are going to always want that. I mean, you might settle down, so then you're just with the one girl, but every guy is going to want girls to some degree.
Mm.
But the big difference is, I know Brad Pitt he went into Scientology with his ex-wife at one point. I don't know if that was Angelina Jolie or it was before. I think it was before Angelina Jolie. It was like I was an ex-partner. I don't know if it was wife or ex-partner. He went into Scientology and then he kind of got fed up with that and he stopped that. So I know Tom Cruise is big in Scientology, but so these guys, it's not like when he was in the Scientology and that he wasn't a big actor then. So I'm trying to say that these guys make mistakes too.
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah, we only see them as these big celebrity superstars, which they are, but they're still not perfect.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure, 100%.
But the thing is, Brad Pitt's level with his status, his money, he's going to have masses. He's going to have a massive amount of success if he wants that.
Yeah. He's got access to the absolute top tier. But here's the thing, man. I think again, man, just like kind of like Will Smith and Prince Harry, I think he got roped in there in a real dysfunctional way with Angelina Jolie, man.
Oh yeah.
He got roped.
I don't think it's as bad as the Prince Harry though.
That's a good point. That's a good point, man. That's a very good point. Like, you're right. I think old Prince Harry, he's walking in blind, bro. I think he's blue pill, bro. And I don't think he has any concept. In fact, I think he's resistant to hearing it. I think that time when William and Kate called him over, like, well, she's not exactly a princess. Like, literally, literally, she's not a princess. And he was like, don't you say that about my beloved girl. And I think he's actually in a world of hurt. It's a little bit unfortunate. I don't like to see that. And I think he needs, like, legitimately, I'm not even kidding. I think he legitimately needs to book, like a bunch of one-on-one sessions with Tyler or Julian or like seriously, bro. Seriously, like or maybe what's his name from the Naturals Lifestyles, the guy from the Natural Lifestyles, James.
What, James Marshall?
Yeah.
The Australian guy.
Yeah, the Aussie guy. Yeah, him.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy because he's older. He's a lot older.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
What age is he? He must be 40s.
Oh yeah, he's at least 40, man.
Yeah.
Fucking balling.
Yeah.
I heard him talking once that he was chilling and he was helping out a royalty guy. I think it was like some of the royalty in Hungary or Austria or some shit down there. He was like working with one of them guys. Like, hey man, it's cool. So anyway, I've
got another quick fire. This isn't a celebrity guy, but he was the starter. He was like the starting coach in the UK. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's called Richard Laruna.
No.
You never heard of this guy?
No.
Right. So, like, obviously I knew about RSD, right?
Yeah.
But this guy had a book called The Natural. It's called The Natural. So when I started out, I read the book The Natural, and then he's been in daytime TV, like talking about
Yeah.
he wasn't talking about the game. What he was talking about is how he's moved from the UK to Russia
Oh.
because he says UK women are ugly, right? But yeah, and they went mental over it. So then, he's over in Russia now. Like, but now this guy's red pill.
Yeah.
This like, see when you see this guy, he's red. Like, you've got to check this guy's channel out. Like, I mean, you can tell he's higher on some of them. Like, he's just total. Yeah, he's a good laugh though. He's good fun.
Sounds
like,
good.
and he knows his stuff. The problem I had with him is I didn't find him authentic. That was his downfall. I didn't feel as if he was, but he does know his stuff. What I mean by authentic is, like I said, like the red pill doesn't align with me that well. Whereas, see, guys that are more purple pill, like Max really resonated with me. Like, Todd didn't resonate as much with me, but I could resonate to an extent with Todd. I actually prefer Todd himself. I think he works. See his own channel. He seems to have, I don't know. He just seems to be delivering better with his own channel. Obviously, Tyler was like the granddaddy. He brought them all together, and like, yeah. But you should definitely check this guy out. Yeah.
I'll look him up here right quick, just so I have him. I try not to look up too much, guys, because I already kind of, seen so much of it. Like,
yeah, it's just like this guy's been going for like 10. He was putting videos out 10 years ago. Or whatever.
What the fuck? So he's an old school. What is his last name again?
Yeah, I'll try. It's Laruna. I think it's Lareuna.
Oh, okay.
You should find it if he types like.
Yeah, I'll check him out here.
I'll start to see if I can get it myself.
No, I can't find him here.
Okay, let me see if I can't see it, then it doesn't matter.
The Rude.
I'll try and get the book so that.
Oh yeah, no, I found him. Oh yeah, that's when he was up. Why Western women are less attractive.
The guy, he's got the long hair.
I fucking found him on here talking shit.
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever. Maybe I'll. What is he saying there? The dating guru who says British women are overweight and entitled. I mean, whatever. Like the truth, he's probably right with most of the shit, but whatever. Yeah. I mean, you know what, man? With all that shit, it's like, bro. First of all, a lot of times, a lot of that stuff is said like for shock value because these guys understand how the women operate, so they know it's just gonna. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, bro, all things in the end, man. Just like, man, it's like you got to be happy with where you're at, man. You got to be happy with who you are. You got to do what's happiness and peaceful for you. And as long as you're doing that, you're going to have access to power and strength. And if you get too far out of balance, you're going to start to lose that power and lose that strength. So if you get too fucking red pill, it's like, who knows, man? You might miss it. So whatever, but that's good for him, man.
There's no right or wrong way to live your life. We've spoke about that before. Like for me, I have a sort of schedule, a rough schedule in my head. But I don't write my schedule down. I just kind of know what I'm doing at each point of the day. But it's all rough, like because I know other guys that actually have schedules out for the next 3 months. That Monday 6 a.m. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That doesn't work for me because what ends up happening is I don't feel spontaneous with that. I want to have routine, but I want to be able to like for example. I'm 29, like I say, the social's number one. So I want to be doing a boxing fitness workout, and I get a phone call that a girl wants to come pick me up. So I jump in a shower and I'm off. The boxing workout's cancelled. You know what I'm saying? I want to have that freedom still. I don't want to like that. It's not to say that priority will Detroit will probably change soon. That's the way I'm kind of seeing it. Like that, I'm just having fun the last of my 20s, and it's when I'm going out. It's all for fun, really. It's just I'm just thinking, let let's just make the most of your 20s, and then when you're 30s, you can start focusing on the business, the purpose, uh, helping others to a better degree. You'll understand yourself. I think the 30s will be more enjoyable than the 20s. That's what I think.
Yeah, more
That,
peaceful, man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Do,
no.
do, do you think the 30s better? Because you're a
Yeah,
bit older
yeah.
than me.
I mean, I had way more like success in the 30s for sure. I mean, the only thing I would say just overall is like the only thing it just keeps for me coming back to it is like I would only be interested in learning these lessons at an earlier date. Like I would only want to get started on this journey earlier. I would only want a mentor earlier. Like it would just it's
Yeah,
the only thing that I see is like just get started as soon as you can. And it doesn't even have to be with meeting all the women. I don't give a fuck about. Like it's nice and it can be fun, but like you it's not even a big rush with that. It's just this general mentality, this general self-development, understanding how things really are, whatever you want to call that, fucking red
yeah,
pill, the actual nature of women, how things operate. You just want to get started on this journey as soon as possible and building up your value, building up your self development, building up just your contentment with yourself and not needing any
yeah,
like you don't need to meet tons of women. You can, and this can be fun, but you don't need to. I would
yeah,
just say just getting started on that as soon as possible. And then over time, if you want to start meeting the women and experimenting a bit, that's cool too. But that
yeah,
would be my experience. That's what I see, and I'm in no rush even a bit. Like not even a bit. Like in fact, it might not be. It might be the next. I might not even be in this life, bro. Might be
yeah,
the next
yeah,
life or two when
yeah,
I start feeling like I'm in no rush, man. I'm good. Like, and I think it has to be like that. And the more that's but like the more that I'm like that, that's how I get access to these girls who come out without me even having to get the numbers. And that's what I
yeah.
want. That's what I want is
You,
I want it to be like
you,
right. I want the girls. It's like Dan Bilzerian. You think he's texting girls? You think Dan Bilzerian's texting? No, they're coming in his DMs. They're trying to fight their way into his bedroom and shit. Like, the band Motley Crue. You ever heard of them?
yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah, yeah,
There's a cool new movie on Netflix you should check out about them called The Dirt. Actually, based
I'll,
on Neil Strauss's book The Dirt, where
yeah.
he before he
I'll,
wrote, before he
I'll,
wrote the game. Yeah.
I'll add it to the playlist or
Yeah,
whatever.
check that out,
The
man.
dark, yeah,
There's all kinds of
yeah.
stories about girls climbing over balconies into like Nikki Sixx's room and shit. Like, bro, what the like? It's,
But maybe we should just wrap it up with this guy then, because I know about that band. I know it was crazy, but I mean, I know you were into the WWE, right? Or you used to be the
no,
wrestling.
that's not really. But anyway, let's wrap it up. This will be the last person. Then we'll wrap it up. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. You know Ric Flair, right?
I do know Ric Flair.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I do know Ric Flair. Yeah.
you know what his claim is with the 10,000 women, yeah.
I didn't know that, but I only recently kind of looked in because I didn't watch wrestling. I wasn't a wrestling fan. I didn't really understand it totally, but I did look into Ric Flair a little bit recently. He's hilarious. What was his deal? Is that what he was saying? 10,000 women, eh?
I think it was an article that came up. I don't like. Well, I just seen the article and basically he was saying that it must put like I don't know if he said it or someone else that was like a good friend of his that like in the wrestling days like because he was I think he was from sort of I don't know if it was Texas or Florida but it was a southern
Mm,
state anyway and before the like it used to be the WWF before it became the WWE
yeah.
obviously copyright but back before the wrestling got really huge in the 90s in the 80s it was wide. There was all different companies that were working. Like you had the WCW, you had like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you had 3 or 4 different companies, and they were all based in each region of America. So
Okay.
you had your northeast, your northwest, your southeast, your southwest, and then your mid, your sort of central. Like so, they all had superstars because you had Hulk Hogan in one particular region. then you had Ric Flair in the other region, then you had Bret the Hitman Hart, like all the massive superstars.
Mm.
And then what happened is those guys were like your jocks 100x, like 100 times, like those guys, like because a lot of women went to the wrestling as much as men, like. It was like especially back. I don't know. Like I'm sure you've seen clips of it in the 90s. Like it was violent then. It was a violent show back then. Like, now it's more family. It was a violent show back then. Yeah. I was massive in the wrestling. Like cool. I really watched it from a very young age. I watched it from basically at 2 years old right through. I stopped watching it properly at 13. Now I'll watch it the odd time now, but I'm not a wrestling fan anymore. Like, it doesn't have the big characters that it used to have. That's the issue. So I can't.
No, I can't speak too much on, like, say, wrestling in general, Ric Flair. But what I will say about that is the character and persona development is very useful. Like to get that in your mind of like, look, man, you want to like package yourself up as like a brand almost. So people know what they're getting, and women especially understand like what type of adventure they're going to have with you. And it's like authentic, man. It's not some fantasy. It's like, no, you just legitimately package yourself up as like, this is what you're getting. And it should be very clear. It's like Ric Flair with his fucking gold and his feather boa and his fucking hair slicked back. Woo! Woo! And he's just, he's just coming in there, man. It's like, that's what works. It's like, there's no debate about what you're getting. It's like, and women love that because they're just like, oh, yes, finally, just a fun adventure. And they know what they're gonna get. They know you're not gonna like be needy or anything. And again, it's kind of a fantasy because no guy's perfect, but let them think it. And it's just so taking that over to your actual life is smart. It's like make a choice about what kind of guy you're gonna be, and then work towards that, bro. And it can be any fucking guy. You can be a hockey dickhead. You can be a fucking gothic Marilyn Manson guy. You can be a fucking big chain looking dude. You can combine all these and just create something new. It doesn't matter. Or you can just be the standard RSD fucking V-neck leather jacket guy. It doesn't matter. How many dickheads are there walking around fucking with leather jackets and V-necks and fucking
the leather jacket looks a terrible fashion. Like, yeah, I'm not a fan.
One time I remember Tom Torero was talking where he was doing a meetup once in a bar, and it was like the bar was empty and it was him and like 8 other guys in the back, and they all were wearing like the same leather jackets and fucking V-neck shirts and boots and
he's got the black leather jacket, right? Yeah,
I think they all had the leather jackets and the same boots and the same V-necks, and the owner came and kicked them out. He's like, what is this shit? Get out of here, you fucking weirdos. Anyway.
That's the thing with the whole game. Like, it's because it's not like, I mean, you've got to look at where society comes from now. That it's stopped. Like, see, game in general, it's went down it's went into a bad place the last couple of years, right? But I think it's going to revive.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, as a country conservative, as a country liberal. So the more liberal the country, like, people teaching game, it's harder. The more conservative the country, people teaching game, it's easier.
Yeah, and it's needed, bro. It's just getting repackaged. That's all, man. It's just going through a period now where it's just being repackaged. It's moving away from the fucking big giant mystery hat and the peacocking and the routine. It's all moved away from that. Now it's becoming like, hey guys, what is it that you need to learn in order to be successful just in life? And with women in particular, it's a skill, it's a fucking art, it's something that is necessary to learn, and there's going to be a huge demand for guys who can teach that. And it's just absolute truth, and it's only getting more like that because there's every year guys come out, they've been playing Call of Duty and fucking and in some hysterical liberal university for 4 years, and they come out and they're playing Call of Duty and they believe in feminism and shit, and they get slapped in the face pretty quick of like, oh, whoa, that's not gonna work.
Well, I just agree with you. There's a massive, massive demand for this because if you look at the 5 survival things we need in life: oxygen, water, food, shelter, sleep. The 5, right? The whole sex thing, the whole woman thing, that comes next.
Yeah,
That's the like
yeah,
what. See if you've got the 5 basic essentials in life, then you move to that. Now
yeah,
that's that's the first one that's non-essential.
yeah.
It's the first one after the essentials. That's the point I'm trying to make. So let's say myself here. Let's say I don't have much access to water, food, shelter,
Yeah,
sleep. Well, obviously I need oxygen, right?
that's
So
the priority now for first.
yeah. So I'm saying if any of those are really lacking, you're going to struggle to go out. But the thing is, most guys, especially in the West, Western Europe and stuff, and like Canada, America, and all that, all the developed countries, they don't have any of that shit lacking at all.
And
So
the funny part is, in fact, they've got all those first four like completely fucking handled. Like
yeah,
guys come out like a university and shit. Everything's taken care of. They got a job at a fucking an
yeah,
engineering firm. They got fucking food. They can get. They got a condo. They got all that shit. They got a fucking financial planner. They got all that shit handled like set. And
yeah,
all of a sudden, then they're like, oh, what about women? They have no clue. None. No clue. It's as if all of a sudden, the food supply got completely cut off, and they were like, "Oh, you have to go hunt your food in the wild." And it's like the average
yeah,
guy. I mean, I have no fucking idea. The average guy has no concept whatsoever of how to find food in the wild, how to hunt it and kill it and fucking skin it. And that's what it's like for these fucking guys now coming up. They were raised on like Netflix and mainstream news and fucking liberal hysterical shit and feminists raised by their mom and all this shit. And they're coming out and they have no clue. They've been watching Hollywood movies and manga and fucking anime and shit. And they just have no concept. And they come out, and we'll wrap up here, man. We've been going a while. And they come out with fucking, and there's dickheads like me and you who are out here just running game, doing shit, and they don't even have a clue, and they're
yeah,
confused, and they don't get it, man.
yeah, but like, I can totally relate to those guys. I mean, not to the extent, but I can totally relate. I remember watching the Hollywood
Me
movies when I was
too. Me
younger.
too, man. Me too. I listened to fucking Green Day and Blink 182, and I used to watch fucking Hollywood movies, and 100%, man. I'm right there with you, man.
No, but you even this is another. This is what I was going to touch on. It even comes back to the woman in Hollywood movies. You think I can marry that woman? Like, no, like I don't know if you probably heard of them, the Olsen twins.
Oh yeah, yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah. So like I was maybe like 9, 10 years old and all that, and I used to watch all their movies. Like they were just the typical American type girls. Like
Yeah,
see if you had to picture what an American girl looks like, it was the
that
Olsen
was
twins.
hers.
Like
Yeah,
yeah, and I used to think, oh, those girls are super cute and all that. Like they
yeah.
and
And
but
then you fast forward, and like one of them's got an eating disorder, and she's addicted to pills and shit. And the other one's probably
yeah,
married to some fucking rock and roller.
that's what I'm saying. I got to 18, and then it was like, oh, what went wrong? Like yeah, like
And you always, it's not what it seems, bro. Yeah, so.
yeah. That's the point I was trying to make. Like those Olsen girls, they were just young, super cute. But what happened when they got older? They weren't young, super cute anymore. They didn't evolve because what was the main problem? They weren't good enough at acting. They were good. They were good at, but they weren't amazing.
Mm.
So C-list movies when they're older, they were shooting A-list family movies because they fitted that at the time. But if you look at the girl from Matilda, she gave up acting and stuff like that. The point I'm trying to make is Hollywood dries a lot of people up. It's fake.
It is fake. Totally fake.
So fake.
Totally fake. Not real at all. Not real at all. Is not going to serve you. Didn't serve those girls. And we'll wrap it up here with the truth of the matter is, guys, as weird as it is to hear, the things that Richie and I are talking about, it's just this is kind of how it is. All right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you didn't know before. It's not pretty, really. It's fucking messy and kind of dumb and weird, and it's not what you thought. But we're just letting you know it's like this kind of is how it works. The guys that we speak about and the mentors that we point to, they kind of do understand how it works generally, and you want to learn from them, or I guess us, because that's kind of how we learn. And this just is pretty much how the path for the man kind of goes here in the 21st century. And so, our recommendation basically is that you guys kind of get on board where you're at, wherever you are, start where you're at, try to hear what we're saying, try to take on what you can, try to learn from it, try to check out some of the sources that we've offered. And if you want to learn more, you think this is something for you, you can reach out to us. You can hit us up in the comments. You can ask Richie for his freaking email address or me or whatever. And you can hit us up, and if you want us to like tell you this directly over the fucking Skype or whatever, then there you go. Maybe we can work with something.
Yeah.
If you think radically different, if you think things are as they are in the fucking Disney movies or an episode of fucking the OC or Dawson's Creek, you're on your own, man.
For sure.
You're on your own, bro.
Until you come out of that bubble.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
Anything else, man, to add?
Yeah, so I was just going to add to guys then that it doesn't matter where you're at in the journey. What matters is that you're on it doesn't matter where you're at in the journey. What matters is that you're on the journey to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went.
So,
yeah.
So my advice is just to really back what you're saying up is stay on the journey.
Yeah.
Keep trying to progress. It might come in small increments.
Yeah.
But then you'll be surprised. You could be small increments, and then boom, something just clicks, and then you go deep, and then right up. That's the way it's went for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's not to say you'll have bumps and bruises along the way, but the difference is always try and look like I wouldn't be. I mean, the fact that I'm doing the shit that I'm doing now, I wouldn't have expected it. I wouldn't have thought I would get this far. But then now that I'm this far, I don't think about that much. Now I'm thinking next. I'm always thinking about how I can evolve more because I'm always learning. I learn off every person. Like just open your eyes and learn off every person you meet, whether they're their old granny, they're the hot model, your friend, just learn off everyone.
100%, yeah, 100%, and definitely to what you said about just appreciate where you're at, man. It's fine as long as you're on this journey and you're starting. It's fine, man, 100%. And I've had many times throughout the journey, I've looked back on times that I now look back on, like dates that I went on, some girl that I went home with that happened a few years ago, and yeah, looking back, it's like. She wasn't a 9. She wasn't a fucking even 8.5. She might have been a 7. I don't know. But I can look back on that experience and be like, I look back at that fondly and I'm like, that was awesome. That was cool. Like I met that girl. We hung out. She was cool. That was a fun time we had together. And it's like, just appreciate where you're at. It's like, even if you're hanging out with a girl and you're like, I know this isn't like the perfect girl for me. I know this isn't like the girl of my dreams. But just appreciate it, man. Just appreciate, like, no, she's all right. There's something cool about her, and you're there with her, and just appreciate it. Because in a couple years, you'll be way beyond that, man, and you'll have something else to think about. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's very valid because I was just going to say something similar there. That like, see when you're going out and you're meeting all these different ones, connect with the girl.
Yeah.
Connect with the girl. Like,
yeah.
Too many guys when they get into this. And I have a little bit of experience with that. I wasn't too bad. You're probably, I'm saying, too many guys are so focused on how many girls they can bring back home.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
D-
they're all focusing on numbers. They're all focusing lay count and all things that are just stupid. Like,
I would
yeah,
agree with that. Genuinely just appreciate speaking with the girl or just being out and meeting people. And lots of times, man, I can still remember there were times when I had like a brief conversation with like a girl one time on the street. I remember this girl was there. We just spoke for a few minutes and it wasn't even really that much attraction. I didn't even really want to get her number. She was just like a
yeah.
genuinely kind of nice and cool person, and we just had a nice like couple of minute conversation, and it was like, oh, okay, cool, like have a good day. And I still think back to that and be like, in some ways that was more valuable than times when I went home with some girl and it was like there was almost no value in it. It was like, oh wow, one more little lay count, I guess, but there was no real value to it. So just appreciate those small things, because in the end that's what it's all about, man. Just cool experiences that are just good for you and good for everyone, man. That's what I see.
And just to clarify there, like, there's nothing wrong with tracking stats because,
Sure.
like,
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I think it's probably a good thing, especially if you're a beginner, to track
Yeah,
stats in the
yeah, yeah.
sense of like, but more specific stats as in, right, like how many, like what's your ratio, all that, because then you can kind of work out where you're at and what you can work on.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not to tell the boys on a Sunday night and when the football's on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not about bragging,
Yeah,
but keep track so you know where you're at
yeah,
and you can make progress for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Do it for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. Do it for yourself. Don't tell anyone about it
No, yeah.
unless it's someone that's a close connected person that
Yeah.
that you're telling for analysis.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
point. Yeah, don't brag about it, but you can share it with like a peer and be like, "Hey, this is what happened. This was my situation." And then that guy can appreciate it and be like, "Wow, that was really great. Like, perhaps you could try this next time." And it's like that's useful and valuable.
yeah, yeah. But that's good. So
Totally,
yeah,
man.
I know you want to wrap up. Yeah, so
I think
we should do another one. Oh yeah,
good.
yeah, because what that's almost 3 hours. I think that's the longest we've went ever.
Yeah, man, but
Yeah,
I think we had a ton of good we had a ton of good information, man, and we went into like some we come up across a bunch of good points, man, I think today. So that was solid.
and I like the I know we sort of do it more at 7 or 8 normally, but I think the 6 p.m. my time really suits me because
Cool.
like I'm really always free to about 9:30,
Cool.
9:45 ish. So
Yeah.
I'm saying we would only ever run to about 9 p.m. roughly. So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
this was a good time, man. We'll do this again, man. Let's do this again, like just when it's starting to get into winter, man. We'll be ready for a nice something.
yeah. Maybe after kind of Halloween, going into like sort of
Yeah.
Novemberish time.
Yep.
Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks down the line. Yeah, we could do one then and then a Christmas special or something.
Okay, yeah, man. Let's do that, man.
Yeah,
Before New Year's, let's do one here just after Halloween, and then we'll do one like right around Christmas before New Year's to fucking get set for the new year, man. How about
oh,
that?
oh yeah, yeah, kind of like in between Christmas and New Year, like, or
Could,
maybe
yeah,
like
we could, yeah.
8. Yeah, yeah, that sounds fun.
All right.
That could be a very tactical one.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do that. Let's do it right after Christmas and just before New Year's. And actually, this is what we'll do too. We'll kind of, because we both seem to be kind of transitioning like away from just like straight up like collecting numbers game. And we'll transition into this
yeah,
like the next year of like, hey, let's kind of make the switch of like talking. Let's switch it that one there and talk a little bit more about like self development and like success, and maybe even start to talk about like business or like finance or
oh yeah.
something. Let's make that shift. But this one in around after Halloween, let's just hammer on game shit again hard. Let's bring in all the fucking topics that we want to hammer on for that one, yeah?
Yeah, for the Halloween one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because that'll be a good time because like Christmas is a very social time. So like for Halloween, and then the New Year one. Like I think this year's with the COVID thing, nobody's talking about New Year. So yeah, so it sounds good, man. Good to chat to you.
Yeah,
We
man.
covered a lot. Yeah, so yeah, I'll message you at the end of just before Halloween.
Yeah.
I'll drop you a message. We can sort something.
Perfect, man.
Okay, man.
All right, bro.
Enjoy your night.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, take care.
See you, man.
Soon. See you, man.